I want to say I guess it's yeah. Once upon a time, not long ago, down by the riverside, working on my floor, I met a young boy, was in the flashy things. He said, I'm gonna be a gangster cause I get on the plane. I said, hold up, what you talking? Young money, need to slow up, stop you walking. He said, if you ain't got no money, don't say nothing to me. I said, let me tell you something that mama told me. You need a lawyer in the courtroom and a doctor when you sit. Try to stay fly like the next guy, but you need more than some kids. That's Jesus. And when you're homeless, leave it, boy, tell me where you gonna go. That's Jesus. Where you gonna go? That's Jesus. If you be listen, I know you think you're grown. You wanna get the world and do it on your own. I don't care what they told you, but that ain't how it works. You better than that. Let me take you to church. He said, wait, homie, you don't know me. The streets I live on, who I call my homies. I bust big moves and ball like the pro scene. I said, let me tell you something that mama told me. You need a lawyer in the courtroom and a doctor when you sit. Try to stay fly like the next guy, but you need more than some kids. That's Jesus. And when you're homeless, leave it, boy, tell me where you gonna go. That's Jesus. Where you gonna go? That's Jesus. If you be, that's Jesus. You'll never be like Jesus. One more time, that's Jesus. He said the streets are my home, my favorite rap and my best of. My goal is getting money and the girls come after. I said, bro, you living in the suburbs, so you get no props. This ain't no movie set, no actors. Don't be so boxed in by the money and cars. He said, if I'm so locked up, then show me some bars. I replied, since you asked her, that's what I'll do. Now put your hand in the air, cause you're going to school. Cause you got questions, don't you wanna be a fly kid? Let's open your eyelids and live where the sky lives. I a pilot, right above the game. Like a shot clock, homie, that's work on your aim. If you don't want to be an amateur, these pros out here will damage you. Like you up and spit you out like you would never man enough. I like a Curry, step back with the shot like that's that Jesus. You need a lawyer in the courtroom and a dollar when you sit. That Jesus. Try to stay fly like the next guy, but you need more than some kids. That's that Jesus. And when you're homeless, leave it, boy, tell me where you gonna go. That's that Jesus. Where you gonna go? That's Jesus. Say his name. That's Jesus. Watching over me. That's Jesus. The reason why I'm dying. Jesus. Y'all ain't hearing me. That's Jesus. No, y'all ain't hearing me. Oh, see, I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Jesus. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on the Lord. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Jesus. I'm gonna keep it on the Lord. Our kids ain't ready for that.
1990, Chubb Rock jumps upon the scene with the lean and a pocket full of green. The green doesn't symbolize I made it on the top, but RoboCop last year was a shock. The tone of the Popeye cut shook your butt. Kids are screaming, the media says what? Kind of music is this for you to dance to? The man with the plan and the band demands you. Leave the smack and the crack for the whack, throw the ball and the knock, keep a smile like that. Leave the knife and the gun in the store and ignore temptation sent by the nation. Facial game cause his pain needs a new rep. In your heart and mind, never forget you set walk-ins, and when you're walking, you don't just one. Black on black, remember that it's important. Anyway, the shunless one bring forth the fun. No hatred, the summer's almost done. No time for sleep. Jump in your Jeep and pump up the funky beat. Holy, beaver goes off, you'll smash it, then trash it. You're too young to be plumped in a casket. Just get your boys and bring the noise and just swing it. Your party people sing it. One dibs on the big man. Can he come out? Can he come out and slam a jam? I'm his #1 fan, yes I am. All these kids realize that I'm the man. 6'3", I made a quarter an inch bigger than last year, but still a unique figure. Rob Stringer, Doc, no dinky, and hot dog, know that I'm a man that was born to have a mic on next to me at all times, ready to kick a rhyme. That'll get me out of financial bind. That's why when it comes to fans, I'm never mean. Kids on St. James between Gates and Green always says hello, cause I'm a modest fellow. Never try to play a superstar that's fellow. Cause if these kids don't go buy our records, we'll be has-beens and frustrated. So we owe them to pull out your pen, sign an autograph, you might make a new friend. So just get your boys to bring the noise and just swing it. And party people in the house sing it. Listen up. How the man with the plan and the band rips it up. Based on how we dig the looking Jake. Swing a hot dog, Doc, no bun, F love for decade. Fish and chips with the hippie hips. Before the tune ends, give me some lips. Saturday Crystal, my niece, and Lady Kazam, my homegirl base. And leave the guns and have fun. Out. And oh yeah, sing. Coming back to 1990, Chubb Rock jumps upon the scene with a lean and a hardcore dream. The dream wasn't crafted to be pornographic. Decency started from the crib plus kids. Don't need to hear all of that on a rap. The strength of my vibe placed Chubbs on the map, cause authority, seniority goes far through. My staff gives autograph plus gives enough laughs. Read my mic, heed my sight. I definitely lead you right to treat me right. Peace.
Don't sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique. Let's trace the hits. Check the file. Let's see who bit the dissect the style. I flip the script so they can't get filed. At least not now, it'll take a while. I change the pace to complete the beat. I drop the bass to MCs get weak. For every word they trace is a scar they keep. Cause when I speak, they freak to sweat the technique. I made my debut in 86 with a melody in a president's mix. And now I stay on target and refuse to miss. And I still make hits and beats. Parties, clubs, and cars and jeeps. My underground sound vibrates the streets. MCs wanna beef, then I play for keeps. When they sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique. They wanna know how many rhymes have I ripped and wrecked, but researchers never found all the pieces yet. Scientists try to solve the context, philosophers are wondering what's next. Pieces took the lab to observe them. They couldn't absorb them, they didn't deserve them. My ideas are only for the audience ears. For my opponents, it might take years. Pencils, pens, and swords. Letters put together from a key to chords. I'm also a sculptor, born with structure. Because of my culture, I'm a rhythm instructor. Style that'll be full of technology, complete sights and new heights after I get deep. You don't have to speak, just see and peep the technique. But don't sweat the technique. I speak in the squeak, it's talking cheap. Then I get deep in the beat, think the beat. Bold with the scene, never weak or obsolete. They never grow old techniques become from antique, better than something brand new, cause it's original. In the wild, style I have much more value. Classical, too intelligent to be radical. Masterful, never irrelevant, mathematical. Here's some souvenirs for all the years and for the source, the thoughts and ideas. It's cool when you freak to the beat, but don't sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique.
It's like I'm the first one that's gonna turn up the fucking that bitch in her eyes. Yeah, I got the motherfucking Glock on me, yeah. I got that 40 like what? Yeah, I don't need no of these niggas, Mask on my face like I rock. Yeah, niggas they talking that shit, but none of these niggas they rock. I done pulled up with a whole lot of guap, pulled up a whole lot of knots. Yeah, I done pulled up with a whole lot of dots. Most of these niggas they ops. I don't even know why these niggas they ops. Most of these niggas get popped. That was for free and that shit was for me. That shit it came with a dot. Yeah, that shit it came with a price. My neck it came with some ice. Fuck on your bitch that was twice. Fuck on your bitch that was twice. I had to go outside, cause I felt like I was the only one out of space. Where am I? Yeah. Yeah. I speak. Yeah. I speak. Yeah. I speak. Yeah. I speak. 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 I've been counting racks ever since 3G. Stacking on rackies, so stand like 3 feet. Yeah, Mike Jackson. He. My boy, they trapping, they selling, they hitting up like it go he. Yeah, taking on my leader better best. That shit gon' hit you like he.
I just like, yeah. I get this shit like, yeah. I'm on the side of the bed, in front of a mighty, I put up this head, yeah. I just, yeah. I just, yeah. I'm on the S, I been suited, yeah. I'm on the park, I been fooded, yeah. Hop out the photo, I swerve. I'm in the sky with a bird. I tweeze, slamming that bird, lurd. Yeah, tell them like, yeah. I've been up inside that tongue, yeah. Who decided you could talk, yeah. I've been chilling at the top, yeah. My wrist is heavy, it's a mouth. I just cut him out a demon, he told me to take every person is gone. I just walk and take an F for the Buddha. On my mind, bitch, I feel it like Buddha. Pinky hand me, got to send me a photo. Still pain, pour the 8 in my soda.
I've been counting racks ever since 3G. Stacking on rackies, so stand like 3 feet. Yeah, Mike Jackson. He. My boy, they trapping, they selling, they hitting up like it go he. I speak. 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 I speak.
It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker. Ain't gon' keep me run no broke shit, that broke shit get old. Ain't gon' keep me run no hoe shit, these hoes get too bold. I'm allergic to that no shit, my wrist game on cold. I might pick my coupe white just to match with my toes. Yeah. I can't wear the shit you bitches wear because it's cheap to me. It's some money at my table, grab a seat with me. Cost a ticket just to cover all my legal fees. I don't hang with jealous bitches, that's a weak disease. Hold on, run up. If you're broken in my business, then just shut up. I invested in my body, bitch, I'm done up. I look good, I like to fuck, I'm when the sun up. I put on my jewelry just to go to the bodega. And I keep it with me just so that I'm feeling safer. Fendi on my body, but my feet is in Bottega. Bitch, I'm getting money, give a fuck about a hater in this motherfucker. It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker. Ain't gon' keep me run no broke shit, that broke shit get old. Ain't gon' keep me run no hoe shit, these hoes get too bold. I'm allergic to that no shit, my wrist game on cold. I might pick my coupe white just to match with my toes.
Hey yo, I put on my jewelry just to suck my nigga off. Fingers on his balls like I'm about to tell him cough. Wait, hold on, holiday. You can't give it to him dry like that. You gotta get that shit wet first. You gotta prep them for shit like that. Bring that shit back. Bring that shit the fuck back. I put on my jewelry just to go out by the pool. And I keep it with me in case somebody act the fool. Coochie on my coochie, I'ma make these niggas drool. Higher than the moon, but I'm in tune, so don't run up. Cause if you run up, I guarantee you ain't gon' leave looking done up. Some little Chinese bangs with the bun up. I got the crown, little bitch, you just a run up.
I put on my jewelry just to go to the bodega. And I keep it with me just so that I'm feeling safer. Fendi on my body, but my feet is in Bottega. Bitch, I'm getting money, give a fuck about a hater in this motherfucker. It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker. Ain't no me run no broke shit, that broke shit get old. Ain't no me run no hoe shit, these hoes get too bold. I'm allergic to that no shit, my wrist game on cold. I might paint my coupe white just to match with my toes.
Hey yo, Bia, I just been the block, all these bitches wanna be ya.
Probably cause my waist gone, money long near.
Well, I ain't talking cars, long hair, don't Kia.
In a twin seater, you Tamara?
What's Tia?
My pissy pitsy, I fuck them like porn stars. Ain't playing basketball, but my bitches is all stars.
Da Vinci on my wrist cause I'm richer than most broads.
Yo, Nick, these bitches trippin', let's send him a postcard. I put on my jewelry just to go to the bodega. And I keep it with me just so that I'm feeling safer. Fendi on my body, but my feet is in Bottega. Bitch, I'm getting money, give a fuck about a hater in this motherfucker. It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker. Ain't me run no broke shit, that broke shit get old. Ain't me run no hoe shit, these hoes get too bold. I'm allergic to that no shit, my wrist game on cold. I might paint my coupe white just to match with my toes.
Used to throw those things away. What is this? Numbers in your pocket. I remember when you used to throw those things away. Why do you wanna keep in touch now? Who gave you a reason to act so shady?
This is Real Life Spill ENT Radio.
I care for you. Yes, I don't understand, baby. It's a shame we gotta go through this. We can't even talk, girl. We don't even kiss. I never would have thought we'd be breaking up like this, but it's over now.
Real Life Spill ENT Radio.
You think that I don't know what's going on, 'cause you're always home alone, and I'm always out of town. You need to stop trying to play me, 'cause you can't even fake me. I know you're messing around, baby. That's how much I care for you, baby. Oh, I don't understand, baby.
It's a shame we gotta go through this. We can't even talk,
girl. We don't even kiss no more than once.
We be breaking up like this.
Like this, baby. Oh, we don't even talk. It's a shame.
We can't even talk,
girl. We don't even kiss. What's wrong with you?
We be breaking up like this.
Like this, baby.
It's over now.
It's over now,
baby. It's a shame that we go through things that we go through. When you're in love with me and I'm in love with you, I think that we should talk about our problems. instead of running away. Oh, baby, it's a shame we couldn't work it out. Forget what love was all about. Oh, feelings we had. My heart will always be with you. Oh, girl, it's a shame we gotta go through this. Oh, baby. We can't even talk. Girl, we don't even kiss. So wanna fight no more. We be breaking up like this. Do with me. It's over now. It's over now, baby. It's a shame we gotta go through this. Work it out. We can't even talk. Ooh, baby, can we work it out? No keep wanna work it out. Ooh, baby, can we work it out? Like you wanna work it out? Oh, ooh, baby, can we work it out? So still wanna work it out right now. Go through this. We can't even talk. Ladies, wanna work it out. Work it out. Never would have thought we'd be breaking up like this. It's over. It's over now. It's over now.
I just told Pete it's really was in the worst nightmare, man. They don't want to see little baby with the Barbie. Tell him I need my bitch, she a rider. I got a shooter and I got a driver. They want that heat, I'm the only provider. Little back foreign bitch worth a 5, yo. It's not a vibe, that's worth a 5, yo. We bout to resolve, yo. Pull up on the up, then we have a problem. Hold up, shorty, hold up. Please don't touch me. Look at my feet, look at my ankle, look at my wrist. This one a pack, this one a brick, that one a op, that one a lick. This one for pop, this one for juice. I ain't the one, you a deuce. Give it up in my city, really shed blood in my city. Get love in my city. The sun, your whole set like it's around 6 clips. Whole team get fired in round trips. She's the spying on my flicks. He admiring my drip. Check what I do, the check a clear too. Pull up like a drive-through, so check your rear view. I don't care how long it take to get it out back. All my niggas outside, steak be out back. I don't care how long it take to get it out back. All my niggas outside, steak be out back. Tell him I need my bitch, she a rider. I got a shooter and I got a driver. They want that heat, I'm the only provider. Little back foreign bitch worth a 5, yo. It's not a vibe, that's worth a 5, yo. Beef, we bout to resolve, yo. Pull up on the up, do we have a problem? Hey, yo, baby, let's go.
2022, I'm coming through in that new shit. How we out, you see me and you don't do shit. I didn't really try in the car, I got the blueprint. Gallery department when shopping, I like the loose fit. What's the point of having this muscle if you don't use it? I play the game to win, I'm not losing. Out you know my address, I'm not moving. Brody know they take it to try, they gotta prove it. She get what she want when we screwing. I'm on point, I know what I'm doing. Way too smart to act like I'm stupid. I get my advice from Mike Rubin. I'm not by myself, my whole crew lit. Next to Chanel, I put her in that new print. It is what it is, I can't make no excuses. I hit the whole group, that make me a groupie. Balenciaga, Codition, not Gucci. We went city to city in bulletproofs. You can't run with my gang, they'll bully you. Been had switches, I know what them foolish do. I'ma vibe, let me know what you wanna do. Ain't no fun by yourself, bring a friend or two.
We be menaging and boost up his ego.
She a little demon out there, Casamigos. Yeah, baby.
Tell him I need my bitch, she a rider. I got a shooter and I got a driver. They want that heat, I'm the only provider. Little back foreign bitch worth a 5, yo. It's not a vibe, that's worth a 5, yo. Beef, we bout to resolve, yo. Pull up on the up, do we have a problem? There's no auto-tune on me, is there? Don't mean no rapper when I say bitch, ride the wave. Flooded my watch, but ain't giving the clown the time of day. Ain't talking Christmas, wouldn't holla in my holidays. I forget that be shooting at they out for days. They gon' let me know. They gon' rep me when they get you lacking that 45 special flow. They gon' wet you, yo. Yes, I'm always good for the bag. It's gon' hop out on that ski mask. Heavy on the ski mask too. And the ski mask ain't for the pandemic. It go with the semi. Paid a pretty dear penny. Ski mask, wait. Ski mask, wait. Yeah, want a bad bitch like me, keep on wishing, baby. Bust it open first, you got to kiss it, baby. Yeah, want another, I go fishing, baby. Yeah, I never let these broke ass fix me, baby. Yeah, I hop on top and ride that, acted lazy. Get it, soak it wet, it's dripping like the Navy. Yeah, I call him Big Daddy, he call me Lil Baby. They know I'm the, I need some tissue, baby. Hey, holla. All these diamonds different color. I done ran up all these commas. Eat the cookie like another butter. Lick the like this fella, la. I ain't think she a Bahama, mama. Do whatever for $1. Gucci snake up on my collar. That never get up with my number. Push it, click. Yeah, pop up on the up and watch it, blick. Yeah, push it, click. Yeah, pop up on the up and watch it, blick. I said, push it, click. Yeah, pop up on the up and watch it, blick. Yeah, push it, click. Yeah, pop up on the up and watch it, blick. Hey, yo. Ain't fucking with Barbie. Tay did my pink Bob Marley. I got a whole army as Charlie. Pull up with a killer, he the Joker, I'm Harley. Miss Unchunky Barbie. Me Onika Tanya. Well, these people stands, but you ain't Puerto Rican. Fresh too, guess who? Drip need a wetsuit, 1 and a 2. Give a fuck about the next few. Step 1.
You are now locked into the Real Life Spell Show.
Tryna pop in the next boo. Then run up in my DM, RIP to X2. Check who? Does it really spin your block? The queen send a text through. Texting with Jeff Bezos. About to cop new Draco. Ops is on the block. We bout to spin it like tornadoes. I'm about to put some Louis seats inside my Lambo. You know you bad when you can post from any angle. He said he upgraded. LOL. Did you really? Well, I just turned Mr. Panic and then Richard Mille. I'm Mr. Fin, color. I'm the leader. Follow. I created this tala. Rappers making singing. La. Push it, click. Yeah, pop up on the up and watch it, blick. Yeah, push it, click. Yeah, pop up on the up and watch it, blick. I said, push it, click. Yeah, pop up on the up and watch it, blick. Yeah, push it, click. Yeah, pop up on the up and watch it, blick.
You are now locked into the Real Life Spell Show. Chuck C, A-Rain, Teray, and GT. Right here on Real Life Spell ENT Radio.
I guess we ready now. Got to pull up on the op and see if it's a problem. So much shit going on in them headlines, yo. A lot of them they called the scratch off. 50 and his kid. Man. First of all, hello to the world and shout out to everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice. I ain't said that in forever, in like 10 years. I'm surprised I remember my those lines you say before you come on. So we are here. Boy, was it kind of a struggle. I ain't even gonna bullshit y'all. I guess I really am the problem because I was gonna pull out at the last minute, and then I was like, nah, so let me not do that since everybody's ready to go because I don't want to be the op and I don't want to be cursed out. So the whole team is in the building. Y'all can say what up when y'all is ready.
Hello there.
Yo. How y'all doing tonight?
Man, a little challenging, but nevertheless, we in the building.
Yeah, because if we won, we'd have to kick your little ass.
I know, man. I got to come off my bullshit, yo. They didn't lie to. They said it doesn't take long to make a habit into something. That I swear, me and these habits sometimes, bro. Like 1 minute I be all with it, the next minute I be like, yo. And then when that old man syndrome kick in, like that shit ain't nothing to play with, bro.
I need to call Uncle Phil for you. He gonna tell you, oh, Uncle Phil.
Yeah. Cause it's funny, cause Teray said on the last show at the end, she was like, she's like, well, it's about time you're taking accountability, realizing that you are the problem.
First of all, I didn't say it like that.
Well, I just put it.
I was nicer.
Okay, yeah, well, she was nicer. I mean, well, I
Thank
guess.
you. See, I've been working on my niceness, and you're not about to make me seem like I haven't changed. I have grown. Goddamn it, leave me alone.
Have you stayed out of Facebook jail?
Actually, yes, I've learned that I have to use emojis, gifs, and like not even all pictures, but like certain pictures to say what I have to say. Like I've been thrown in Facebook jail for the dumbest things. Like I know a friend of mine posted something a couple months ago, and she was saying something about a Ouija board and something happening in her house, and I was like, "Oh, I would have to cut you off." All Facebook saw was cut and you. They heard cut you, and then they put me on Facebook jail for like a week. I was like, "Are you serious for saying I cut you off?" And then when I appealed it, they were like, "Oh, well, you said you cut someone." I was like, "No, I said I would cut you off." And I was like, "You know what?" And I didn't even say the word cut. I put scissors, and I put scissors and the word "you" next to each other, and apparently that was a problem. So now I have learned that there are ways that you can say what you have to say, but you have to use like emojis and pictures and stuff to say it, which is complete BS. But yet, as you saw on Facebook, somebody could call black people monkeys and say that they eat bananas all day and walk around naked because they're
Yeah,
gorillas. But yet,
ain't that
Facebook
fucking
would
amazing?
never take that down.
Ain't that fucking amazing? And you know what's funny? I was talking to Rain last night because I've been like, so I'm a huge fan of the Boondocks. Like that's something like a show that I could watch constantly, like over and over and over and over and over. So when HBO Max first became a thing, they put the Boondocks on HBO Max, but they put the edited version on there, and I'm like, I said, how the hell is this HBO and y'all put
We
edited
didn't hear
version?
nothing you just said.
Okay, what about now?
I heard
Now,
everything.
we can hear you now. But for a
Oh.
minute, you went quiet.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, so on the HBO Max thing, like when it first came, all the shows came edited. So my sister just happened to be watching one day, and she's watching the Boondocks, and I hear the F word, and I'm like, did they just say the F word? Because I'm like, when I was watching, this shit was edited. So now I'm going back and rewatching it because you know it's uncensored now the way I wanted. Because I was actually gonna go buy the whole DVD collection just to have it. And but I was telling Rain last night, I was like, yo, I was like, there are so many people in the world, especially if Boondocks was a thing nowadays, right now. I said so many people would be butthurt. It wouldn't even be ridiculous, especially with Raleigh and his FU rent. How he goes on to say fuck Guy Ritchie and fuck the Queen. I mean, no disrespect on that end.
No, he wouldn't even be canceled for that. It would be canceled because he said everything is gay. Ew, nigga, you gay.
Right.
But he had a point. I agree with him on the FU rant. To every word he said, I agree. I feel the same way.
But when you think about South Park, you know, that's a pretty much white run show. It's like everybody in the show is white, producers, everything. And they said they're always saying offensive stuff, whether it's gay people, whether it's trans people, whether it's Christians, whether it's Jewish people, whether it's just white people with
Wait,
red
but
hair.
believe it or not, they've toned it down a lot. I've watched the recent episodes of South Park since they rebranded. It's watered down like a mug.
Then what's the point? South Park
used to be one of my go-to shows compared to how it was when we were growing up, and now it's watered down as hell.
Like the whole point of watching
water
South
down
Park is
Family
because
Guy.
the offensive jokes are funny. That's why you watch it. And they were equal opportunity offensive. Like they didn't give a damn if you were black, white, Hispanic. They joked on every freaking body. They joked on white people with red hair, called them gingers. They had Attack of the Gingers episode. They had blonde, like everything.
They even watered down
Your Family Guy
Guy.
pretty much did the same thing.
Yeah, and like it's just everybody's. This is called a wet wipe culture. Like everybody is like the tissue paper feelings. Like that's just what it is.
Well,
what's crazy to me
Wait,
at
hold
this point with this generation, you know, as kids we all watch Scooby Doo and the mystery monsters and all that crap there, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but we didn't give a damn who or what they was into. Just solve the mystery and get the hell on.
Did you say you said Scooby Doo? I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, she said Scooby Doo.
Yeah, I heard the recent controversy behind Velma, and I'm like, no one gave a damn about anybody's sexuality.
Exactly.
And as a kid, I didn't watch Scooby Doo. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I watched it because I didn't. But
I did every now and again.
I knew who Scooby Doo was, but everyone knew who it was. Like just like how everybody knows who Snoopy and the Peanuts are. You don't watch it, but you know who the hell they are. So with Scooby Doo, I did not watch it, but even the episodes that I did accidentally watch because someone else was watching it or it just happened to be on, I never one time thought about even the heterosexual couple, which is I don't even know their names, the blonde dude and the blonde girl.
Fred and
I never put it
Daphne.
together and was like, oh, they're doing it. It's like I didn't care. You just wanted to see who the
But the
person
crazy
was.
part is they weren't an actual couple. They all were a bunch of friends. It was always insinuated that Velma had a crush on Shaggy, but they never actually put any romance into the freaking cartoon. We didn't care about that. Do your job, which was solve mysteries, and get the hell on. Not everything got to be about sexuality. Some stuff
Right.
just need to be left alone. That's ultimately why they took Arthur off the air after all them times. Because they caused so much controversy when they turned around and made the teacher marry a man. We was like, what the hell? It's a fucking aardvark, for Christ's sake. Who cares?
Right.
Everything don't gotta be about sexuality. And I love my community. I do, because technically I'm a part of the LGBTQ plus community, but y'all do the fucking most. And I'm gonna be one to say it. Y'all do the fucking most. It's not everybody having a heterosexual agenda, but it feels like at this point it's a freaking homosexual agenda, because why are we fighting over inanimate objects and fictional characters and sexuality? Why?
I mean,
some
and
stuff should just be left
fair,
alone.
Even when I watch regular shows, like adult shows, when people are kissing male and female, I don't want my kids watching people making out either, male and
It's
female. Like,
cringeworthy either way.
I don't find it appropriate. Even if my kids are watching something like a Degrassi type thing, I don't think my kids should be watching
Ma'am,
male and
I'm
female making
grown.
out either.
I
I
am
don't care.
grown as hell. And there's certain things that just make me cringe. I'm like, ugh, that was unnecessary. Did not need to see them kiss. Did not
Especially
need
when
to
they're
see a
pushing it
sex
off
scene.
on the kids.
Yeah, that's factual. I got hold on. Wait a minute. I got a question for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me your age without telling me your age. You said, since you brought up Scooby Doo, that's Cartoon Network. What channel was Cartoon
That's
Network?
Boomerang, nigga.
Well, it's the same channel.
It's Boomerang now. It was Cartoon Network. He's correct.
Boomerang was around back in the day.
What was your channel?
Yogi
Tell me your
Bear
age
used to
without telling
come
me
on
your
now.
age.
Oh, that Cartoon Network was on at 38. Yeah.
29.
Nickelodeon was 34.
BET was 33.
Yeah.
It was UPN. It was UPN 33 for me, and it was 29 for Cartoon Network, 28 for Nickelodeon, 27 for Disney.
It was like 73 for MTV, 72 for VH1, I think.
Yeah, remember I'm from SoFlo, so y'all region was a little different from mine.
Basic cable.
But guess what? I didn't have cable as a child. I didn't get cable until I was in high school. So
well, you a PK, so you don't count.
No, that's not what it was. My parents just didn't see a necessity for cable, and I got it when I paid for it. That's
well, my parents used to steal it.
Outside of the fact that she a PK.
Like I said, my parents used to steal it.
Crack in the
My mama worked for Bell South, so we got the discounts. Ooh, I just told my age.
You know what? Yeah, but I asked that because I saw that going around on Facebook yesterday, and they were talking about the different shows, and I guess how Cartoon Network. I don't know who Cartoon Network was bought out by, but I know they were just bought out.
They were bought out, and Cartoon Network, in an essence of Cartoon
Warner
Network, is
Brothers.
no longer Cartoon Network. They fired all former employees, and it was like 82 of them left. They fired all former employees, so Cartoon Network, as we know it, died.
But I never
they're part of Warner Brothers now.
This is gonna sound awkward. I mean, I know they still did movies and stuff, but I never even knew they were still relevant as a TV company.
Who, Warner Brothers?
Yes. I ain't seen that stupid ass frog since I was a kid.
Well, how do you think Animaniacs came back?
Looney Tunes, Animaniacs.
Yeah, but I remember that Saturday and Sunday, especially with frog.
The Animaniacs.
Only on
we
the
go
WB.
Looney to the max. Listen. I used to rush home, make sure all the homework, everything was done just for that. The WB hour.
Yeah, and then with Tiny Toon Adventures,
yes,
they do my shit.
Okay, you know, if you didn't have homework done, you was not turning on nothing.
Especially if you was in there by yourself and they said don't open that door for nobody, and they mean
nobody. And the sad part is my grandma used to live next door to us, and my grandma cussed me out one time because she got locked out of her own house, and my mama was the only one with spare keys, and she was not home yet. And mama said, I don't care if it was Jesus, you better not open my door. My grandma is standing there talking about let me in. And I'm like, Grandma, you're not finna get me a whooping, not today. She had to call my mama for my mama to call the phone and her number to pop up across the TV for me to answer the phone for her to tell me to let my grandma in. Because other than that, grandma was going to be standing outside.
Oh, God.
Grandma about beat your ass when she got inside.
No, my mama used to tear my ass up. So now I'd rather take a whipping from my grandma than my mama. I tell you that much.
See, I don't know. See, my grandmother was different. She believed in corporal punishment, so she would take things away. I'm telling you, 2 weeks of punishment felt like I done did a whole bit in jail.
My mama did that too, but then I'm her child, and my mama, y'all, anybody that know my mama knows she like Sleepy the Bear most of the time. So I'm her child to a fault. So take my stuff away, bitch, and you're gonna have to wake me up. I'm gonna be sleep on your ass. That's just that. You want to take away my TV and my phone? All right, well, I'm gonna sleep my punishment away. Y'all wake me up when life comes.
I couldn't do that though.
When
I'm
life
finna
go
hit the
back to
window.
normal.
So I'm finna hit my room. Yeah, you go. Don't leave out this house, okay? Sure enough, if I get a good chance, you go use the bathroom. I'm going out the window.
And wait, it was you. You was used to it anyway because y'all niggas used to jump off roofs in a 2-story house.
Hey, we getting the fuck
I
out.
didn't have that privilege. My
On.
windows had bars. And the crazy part is we lived in a nice neighborhood, so the windows still had bars.
Hey, guess
so it wasn't
what?
no climbing out no window.
You can lock the windows. I'm going out the door then. I'm just going to wait till you either go use that bathroom, go take a bath.
My mama nickname is Baby D. I wouldn't dare.
Or in most cases, you get lucky. You get a parent that got the overnight job. You got to go to work sometime. What she saying? What she say on the movie? You got to come out the house sometime. You got to get your ass up and go somewhere sometime.
I wasn't playing them type of games with Baby D. You weren't finna have my ass whooped. Sneak out where? Go hoot with who? Nah.
I'm finna go hide out at my sister's house.
Let me tell you something. And I told Rain this last night too, but I didn't tell her the whole story. Since we came up on that. Of ways to like avoid punishment. So I had said, I said, when you become an adult, I say some of the things that you sit back and think about from childhood, as like they dawn on you. Because I said, my grandfather's been trying to, God rest his soul, been trying to have me financially set since I was younger. And I was like, I say young people get money, they just want to do what the fuck they want to do with it. They don't want to hear nothing about no financial stability or anything like that. Like I got money, I want to spend it.
Amen to that. Oh my God, it's aggravating. Sorry.
So anyway, he used to give me a set amount of allowance, and out of that set amount of allowance, he used to tell me to put X amount of dollars to the side. So I remember one time he gave me $30. I'm surprised I wasn't fat back then. I guess maybe because I worked out and stuff back then. But anybody who knows me, as they always say about food, they have plenty of memes about it all the time. My rent is this, my bank account is this. And hot wings cost this, and then you see the person eating the hot wings and not paying the rent or whatever. So anyway, I had $30 I had to put away, and of course CJ had spent it on something. I can't remember if it was on food or. All I know is I wasn't supposed to spend it. So he comes to me and says, "You still better have that $30." So of course, me lying. Oh yeah, I got it. Now mind you, when he gave it to me a $20 bill and a $10 bill. So I'm like, I got to figure something out. So he left, went to the store, blah blah blah. It was enough time for me. I ran down to what we used to call the bottom because my church was not too far from where we used to hang out at. I go to the church. I say to my pastor, I say, "Hey, pastor, I'm in a bind. I need like $30. Can you help me out with that? And I promise I'll pay you back." Needless to say, to this day, I never paid that man back. I feel bad about not paying him back. But I did all that just to get myself out of trouble and not to have to go on punishment for $30. And what I didn't get with my grandfather is why he didn't question it. When you get, especially if you gave me a $20 bill and a $10 bill, and when I showed you the money back, it was $3 $10 bills.
I don't think he cared. I think he was just more happy at the fact that whether you got change for it, you spent some of it, got some of it back. You
still had it back.
But what I would say is, Rain, I need you to look into you guys' lives, and anything you've gone wrong, it might be a curse from what he did. So just think about that. Blame it on him.
But yeah, like I said, I went there. I'm like, and then on top of that, of course, then I lied to my pastor. I'm like, I said, oh, I need the money for a school project. He's like, Shannon, how much is it? I'm like, oh, it's just $30. I need $30. He handed me the $30, jumped my ass back on that bike, got back home before my grandfather got back home. As Rain said about her mom's, Grandma Gwen went the same way. Once Grandma Gwen fell asleep, yeah, you had time to kind of do whatever it was you was gonna do because she was kind of a hard sleeper also. So it was kind of easy to sneak out the door without her knowing you went out the door.
I have to say something. I'm a little upset with you, CJ, because now you talked about wings and I want wings. So I really hate you because I was doing really good and I started this little. Very funny, ha. I started this little diet thing, started working out to the point where now when I cough, sneeze, or laugh, my abs hurt. So I'm trying not to laugh. And I can do wings, which is actually good. So I'm just gonna let you know ahead of time. If you hear me chomping and chewing and talking like this, you're gonna know why. Thanks a lot, CJ. It's your fault.
You're definitely you're definitely welcome. But man, I tell you, that's even now. I'll go even far. Like,
Look, CJ, give me 1 second. I just gotta put this out here. Lord, I know you say the sins of the father fall upon the son, but skip my children and all their generations to come for his foolishness. They do not deserve to battle that foolishness there.
let me tell y'all another situation. Now,
Oh God, I'm gonna get the oil. Y'all continue to swear. I'll be right back.
I think I really need it. Yeah, because I just seen somebody from church last week, and I told them, I said, "Don't worry, I'll be back soon." I mean, which I really will. I really want to. I got to get that situated too. But we've been blessed enough, Angel and I. We've been blessed enough to have just about every weekend has been a different event. So like by the time sleep and everything kicks in, it's like 12, 1 o'clock when we get up, because some of these events don't end till like 12, 1 in the morning sometimes. So
outside of that, if y'all don't know, y'all about to figure it out. I am 8-9 weeks from delivery, and anybody that knows me knows I am very, very big on privacy and peace, and I do believe that people can transfer spirits and energy by touching you. So I try to protect my peace at all times. I do not like to be touched, especially during pregnancy. So I kind of been secluded. Like I go with him to events, and even then he'll tell you I stay away from people. I stay in the corner. I will wave. I will high five you, but don't touch me.
right. And yeah, so that's where we've been. But I was like, I really need to get that on the straight and narrow and like sit down and have a talk with clergy about a couple of things, and then maybe we get a better understanding. Because when I'm not, I don't want to go into that.
You also need to pay that pastor.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go into that. I don't want to go into that. To my clergy that did chime in last week, I just want to send a brief apology about the music,
the vulgar language.
but that does kind of happen over here.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry that this is like, and this is the bad part, because I said, damn, I was like, she always comes in at the wrong time. I'm like, because even when I was doing my mix on Father's Day that year, I was playing Ain't No Fun, and who pops on the screen. And it's in the beginning of the song. When I met you last night, baby. I'm like, shit.
And then the next time she chimes in, you're gonna be playing Uchi Wally.
I was like, shit. So I mean, yeah, we do apologize for that. The language is a little vulgar over here. We gonna work on it though. We're gonna work on it.
If you go back to like children and like following back to like things that your children do. So I know that earlier we mentioned our little group chat, and I had a little discussion with my neighbor who's actually very cool, love her to death. We were talking about Mr. Curtis Jackson and his son Marquise, and I saw it after you guys put it in our little group chat thing, and I thought it's an interesting thing to discuss, only because I understand the absence of a parent can make you feel some type of way. But I also understand children defending their mother and, being that she was the primary person taking care of him. But I do feel like the way he's going about this, which I don't know anything behind the scenes. I don't know if he ever did try to reach out to his dad privately or vice versa. I don't know. But it sounds like the way he's coming at his dad is on behalf of his mom. The reason I say that is the way he comes at his dad is almost like a jilted ex. And I understand how, like I said, if you're not that present of a parent, I can understand there being some animosity, some bad blood, whatever. But the way he's talking, it sounds like a male version of a baby mama, if that makes sense to you. I could be wrong. This is just my perspective. It just sounds like he's the angry ex. And he's
Definitely. You're definitely correct. The thing
and it
with
sounds
him
like
was,
he's heavily influenced by the feelings of his mother, which
the
by
thing
all
with
means,
him was
if
in
he
the very
ain't shit and he's a
beginning,
bad parent, I understand. If he's an absent father, just because you send money doesn't mean you're a good parent. I get that. I'm
it's
not
not
defending
that.
that.
It's not that. The backstory to it is, in the very beginning, when 50 was emerging in his career, they were together. When his career took off, she didn't want to be bothered. I don't know what that was about. He was being nice and was giving her $27,000 a month. That wasn't enough for her. She felt like because he was doing so well, she needed more. She
And
took
the
him
judge reduced it.
to court for formal child support, and they reduced it, which is where the $6,200 a month came from.
I thought it was 67.
Whatever it is, 62, 67, 64, somewhere around the lines of that, which is very good for child support, might I add. Because I don't think kids and other people comprehend that when you take somebody to child support court, it's not just based on the quote unquote absentee's parent finances. They sum up both of the finances between both parents, and that's where they come up with the support amount from. So, first of all, and I really like Marquise. I have met him in person, dealt with him a few times. He's a decent kid, more or less. But you're 25 years old, sir. When do you realize that not everything your mother said was accurate, and your mother should have never badmouthed your father to you to begin with? Whatever happened between their relationship happened between their relationship. I'm big for keeping children out of grown people's foolishness. And in that aspect, she failed her child because this boy got so much resentment and animosity to a man who actively tried with him for years until he said, enough is enough. I don't have to tolerate your disrespect. Since you lick up underneath your mother and you would think that everything that she says is right and gold, deal with her. I'll continue to pay my child support, but as far as pursuing a relationship with you while you underneath her roof, I won't do it. Now you grown and you bitter talking about $6,700 is not enough. Let me tell y'all something. I have an estranged, weird, twisted, love-hate relationship with my father. But baby, as a grown individual, I wish to God my daddy was still giving me $6,700 a month. I'd take that and be quiet. I don't care if we did or didn't have a relationship at that point. It's money that I don't have to put my blood, sweat, and tears into. So you crying talking about you can't maintain a lifestyle off of that, or you felt like the lifestyle that you were supposed to be living wasn't conducive because he wasn't paying your mother enough child support. You need to hold her responsible for that too. Because if $6,700 wasn't enough for her to give you a decent lifestyle, or let me guess, you thought the lifestyle that you were supposed to be living was that of the lifestyle that your father was living, which you could have had, because at any time, if your mother felt like she couldn't do it, she could have gave you to your father. Instead, she chose to poison you against him because they were no longer together. Your mama could have got a job, anything to the equivalent, to make up for the financial lack thereof. But instead, she chose to ride the I hate your father train, so you gotta hate him, which is weird. Now you're 25 years old, and instead of reaching out to your father behind the scenes, you being a clout chaser on the internet. And you mad because your daddy is the king of petty, and he matching energy. Because if you really, like, I seen the outcry, but to me, if you really was crying out for your father's attention, it wouldn't have been on the internet. Because I'm pretty sure you know somebody somewhere in your circle that know how to reach out to him.
You know what I'm saying? GT and I, we talked about this the other day as well in private. And you know, we asked the same question about the whole money aspect. And I had said, I was like, I personally think that it's more than enough. I mean, some people would even argue and say it's not enough, because I know with Rose and his baby moms, he's paying way more than what 50's paying. And but when it came down to the, you know, wanting the lavish lifestyle, I kind of felt the same way. I'm like, you know, like, well, maybe he should have had that time to be with his father to live that particular lifestyle. That's the lifestyle that he lifestyle he wanted, or the lifestyle he was looking for.
But at the same time too, ain't like he really just left them high and dry, 'cause he gave them plenty opportunities, you know, to start a business or do something to get herself going. He told her that he'll pay for her to go, you know, get a trade or, you know, get her own business going, but they didn't want it. They didn't want to work for that. They wanted a handout. I wish somebody would tell me, hey man, you know, you get you a business plan together, a solid, you know, what do you want to do, you know, to start your own business, and they gonna fund it. Who would not hop on that?
Somebody who doesn't want to.
Yeah,
Like,
factual.
One thing I did want to say also, I'm sorry, go ahead, TT.
Oh no, I was about to say, I remember hearing him recently hearing him talking about with his son, like he offered him a chance, like before the whole online shoe thing was, you know, a big deal. He offered him a chance to, you know, start his own company online. He bought him a whole bunch of shoes and like a whole inventory. Got him a storage in Atlanta where they was living at for him to sell the shoes, and they just gonna make an attempt to sell not one pair. So he basically had him set up. If he would have listened to his father, 50 already laid out the plan, and all he had to do was, you know, post the shoes on the website and be selling them. And his son didn't make no attempt to do that. He wanted the free money.
See, I'm not as well versed into the story like that, because I've made it kind of a thing for me to not really give a damn about celebrities in their lives like that. But what I will say as far as the child support thing, because I do have a close family member who's dealing with something like that now. With child support, not only does it take into account the mother or the custodial parent's income, it also takes into account their expenses. So let's say 50 was on the rise at the time, right? Let's just say, because, you know, 50 actually is not, he didn't really come out when Wankster and all that came out. He actually came out when I was a kid. He had he used to make like funny raps, like he did the song called Nobody Likes Me, where he basically was like naming different rappers, kind of like how Uncle Murder makes funny raps. That's what 50 started out doing.
His first album was Power of the Dollar, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was his first album.
Yeah, I don't know if it was an album or a mixtape, but I know that it came out when I was like 12. But then he blew up several years later. And I think 50 also mentions that in interviews, how his first deal, he said he was still poor and he was still selling drugs after getting the first album deal because he really wasn't making any money. So when he blew up the second time, which I'm taken by that time, his son was like 5. And if you notice, when 50 first came out, his son was always with him. He was not a deadbeat dad. But at that time, if the mom took him to child support during whatever breakup or separation, let's say she was living in a 2-bedroom townhouse and she was paying $1,200 a month. You can't ask for $30,000 if your rent is only like 1/20th of that amount. And if his tuition is at a public school, or even if he went to a private school, let's say he went to a private school is $1,000 a month. Okay. At the end of the day, your expenses only add up to maybe $5,000. You asking for 30 does not make sense. Yes, the father's a millionaire at this point. Yes, he's on top of his game. But remember, it goes according to expenses. It goes according to the mother's income as well and the father's income. So people are thinking, oh, well, he's a millionaire. Your child to be a millionaire too. But if you have true 50-50 custody with the child, that means the child is still enjoying the good life. Because on the days he's with daddy, he's in the mansion. And the days he's with you, you do what you do with him. Take him out, take him to school, whatever. If you want 50 to be the fun parent, let him take him on trips to Jamaica and all that. But I'm just not understanding the need for saying she needs a year's salary every single month.
But that's even
Because
in this
she wanted to
society
be
too.
living a lavish lifestyle. That's why.
That's even right here in today's society too. When with regular people, you know, regular ass people we know. When some child support things come up, especially if they, I'm not even gonna go to the state and say ghetto, but there's a lot of them that go in there, they ask for all that money and see I don't know if this was said before about. I did have a conversation once with somebody and they did tell me, they was like, oh, when it comes to child support, you shouldn't worry about where the money goes. And I said to that person, I said, why shouldn't you worry about where the money goes?
I
Because
agree
look,
and disagree. It all depends on who you laid down and had a child with.
but 50 Cent's son, he did say that his mama couldn't afford him no socks at one point in time when she was getting them $6,700 a month. So I was like, how the hell you can't afford to buy the boy some socks?
Nigga,
Which
socks
was a
cost
lie.
$1.
It was a lie. She was doing what she wanted to do with that money. So she
Right.
couldn't afford that boy socks. That wasn't on 50, that was on her.
I was like, yeah, if you got $6,700 a month, how you can't afford to buy your kids socks? That's what he was saying in the video.
Cause my
That
thing is, even if
50,
let's
it
just
wasn't
say,
enough money.
keep in mind they was living in New York. Let me just tell y'all how New York works. Well, those of y'all that live here know. Let me just tell you how New York works. Public housing, your rent is never no more than 33% of your income if you live in public housing or low income housing. It's never more than 33% of your income. So let's say she never had a job, right? And she got $6,700 a month in income, and that was the child support she got from 50. Not only do they give you a medical insurance allotment for that child, they give you different allowances, the fact that you have a child and that your income is strictly child support. So her rent still was never that much. And in most of the low income and public housing communities, all of your utilities are included. So unless she was on Section 8, she still ain't have no bills. All she did was pay rent. 50 was paying his tuition. And 50 was paying for that child's health insurance. So what was you doing with the money, sis?
Yeah, good point. That's what I'm saying. And I said his son don't make the situation no better because he friends with the enemy. He friends with the people that wanted 50 Cent dead.
Which is crazy to me because let me tell you something. Like I said, I already explained the relationship between my dad, but I don't ever, unless he crossed me on some life or death type mess, I'm not ever going to hang out with his op. Are you crazy?
Yeah, the people that you know for sure want put the hit out to get your daddy hit up them 9
It's
times and
crazy
he
because you
survived.
thinking they being friendly, but you could very much be collateral damage at any time.
Yeah.
They can't get close to you. They take the next. They can't get you. They take the next thing closest to you.
He said his daddy don't want to hang out. I wouldn't want to hang out with you either. How I know you not finna set me up? You hanging out with my enemy.
You won't even apologize or admit your flaw. You grown as hell. Your mother's not in the mix no more.
Right,
What's
yeah,
really good?
you hanging out with the people that want me dead, and you want to hang out with me. I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm good. Stay over there.
But you know something I wonder, and although it's a TV show and I know Teray doesn't watch it, I wonder if 50, we all know 50 is the king of petty. We all know that, right? But I was like, I hope he wouldn't be as shady down to the character Kanan that he plays, you know, that would off his own kid.
Hey,
Well,
I
I was
mean,
thinking maybe Tyreek as Marquis.
hey, well, you know what though? In a situation like that, I'm not saying that he would be right, but just with the presented history, if push come to shove, what would you do?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson. I am for real.
Never meant to send you to meet your maker, but hey, it was my life or yours. Sometimes the blood ain't that. Blood is
I
just what
honestly,
blood is just what make you kin in a lot of cases. That don't make a person loyal.
I honestly think it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. 50, it could be easily fixed, but that PTSD from. I know he still got PTSD. Uh,
Oh yeah, of course.
yeah, for all I know, you trying to set me up, and you my own son.
But
So
just even knowing that the personality behind 50, and we know he the king of petty, why
yeah,
would you even come at that man like that on a public platform, knowing that he wake up, eat, sleep, and breathe, being petty and eating other people for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? You gonna come for that man on a public platform and thought he was supposed to just gloss it over and say, "Yes, son, come on home. I love you." Not.
right.
Want to give a big shout out to the people that are viewing, the few that are viewing. If you want, you can leave some comments below. If you want to come and speak on the show, the link is up.
Oh, switching gears. Switching gears. And did I hear you correctly? Because I wasn't actually tuned in the first like 5-10 minutes. Did you call that girl Scratch Off?
Yeah, I
Lotto.
did. I did. And the funny part was when I got caught up on the beef, right? I had said, yo, I was like, Nicki Minaj need to cut it out. I said, why she calling that girl Scratch Off? I said, that's so messed up. I said, they gonna stop playing with my baby Lotto like that.
Listen, all of that could have been avoided when it got exposed that she wasn't even talking about that girl. All she had to do was apologize and digress. But no, you wanted to attack that lady. And listen, y'all say what y'all want. I might be a little bit biased because I am a barb, but I'm also a fair person. And y'all gonna stop with that old shit. That aggravates my soul. Stop calling people old, because people 40 plus years old, people 40 plus are not old. Some of y'all need to thank the Lord up in heaven if y'all ever make it to that age. A lot of people ain't making it. A lot of people don't make it past 25. So stop calling people old. And stop saying, oh, she a 40-year-old bitter hater. She's not a hater. Y'all got to think about it. That lady has put her blood, sweat, and tears into the game for 20 years at this point. And every time you turn around, it's a spit in her face because the industry is training up these little girls to come at her. Like, why? Why do you have to come at her? Why is it not enough space at the table for all of us to be at the top or be the best at what we do? But because she is the highest selling, highest paid female rapper at the moment, who's put in blood, sweat, and tears for the last 20 years, it got to be a problem with her. Everything she do got to be a problem. Or when she speak up and say, stop playing with me, put some respect on my name. Oh, she being mean, she being bitter, she's being a bully. No, she's not. You always a bully, and I learned that the hard way because people do that same crap to me. You always a bully or problematic when you're not letting nobody play underneath you, or you're not letting nobody treat you any old type of way. You're not gonna sit here and say you mess with me behind closed doors, but then in public, and I'm like, hey, you look in the opposite way, or you kikiing with whoever you with, like, why she speaking to me? I don't speak to her. I'm not doing that. Baby, you either gonna deal with me in public or in private, or we ain't gonna bang at all. I don't have time for the flippy floppy wishy-washy. I understand you got such and such behind you writing your checks. That's fine. Your job is your job, but don't play with me like that. I'm not that type of person. That whole situation was unnecessary on both parts, but I absolutely understand where Nicki was coming from. I honestly like both songs, but I do agree with her. If Super Freaky Girl had to be put in a pop category, then so should Big Energy have been put in a pop category, because that song screams pop. For Christ's sake, you had Mariah Carey on the song. It was a Mariah Carey remake, and the original song itself was an R&B pop song. She didn't even single you out, girl. She said Drake himself in 2017 said that it felt weird for him to win a Grammy for a pop song. She even called out Post Malone, who also agreed that when he won his Grammy, the song that he had was not a hip hop or a rap song. It was very much so a pop song. And what makes this whole situation even more funny and ironic is when she came out with the song, Lotto herself was calling the song a pop song for months. So now when she say that your song should have been put in a pop category, now you feel some type of way. You say, oh, she should have never mentioned you at all. You agree with her, but based on how you felt like y'all last conversation left off, you don't feel like she should have mentioned your song to bring her point across. Why not? Why were you supposed to be different? Why were you supposed to be the exemption when you yourself called the freaking song a pop song? I don't understand. What is this? I don't understand. Like, it was
You can finish.
unnecessary.
I just want to get into that real quick. But you can finish.
I just thought it was unnecessary. Then to call it lady old, and you got mad because she said you look 35. No shade, Lotto. You do look older than 23, but that's that white in you, and we sorry about that. There's nothing we could do about that. But at times your whiteness overpower your blackness, and your melanin be looking cracked out. Love you though. Then you had the audacity, and this is what behooved me. You said the lady was subtweeting you. That proved to be a lie. Then instead of apologizing, saying, well, I did get in my bag, for whatever reason, I thought those tweets was about me, and since they weren't, I do apologize. You went further to say that she was trying to be funny. And then she dropped personal text messages where we watched you go back and forth with her about 3 different features that she all declined on. You proclaimed that it was still love, but your energy said different. And then you went even further to say, oh, she said whatever. She talked about didn't nobody care about your little song on the phone call with y'all, but then you dropped audio clips where you recorded the phone call and made a further ass of yourself, because none of what you said she said was on any of them audio clips. All we heard was you trying to make it seem like she said something and trying to get her to quote unquote repeat what she said, and she was even confused. She was like, what are you talking about? Then she was like, matter of fact, I'm gonna be quiet and I'm gonna let you explain what you're trying to get at. And then you said, oh, I already said what I meant. She said, okay, so what are we getting at? It sounded like y'all was having 2 totally different conversations. Then you tried to comfort that lady husband and her brother. First of all, she publicly disowned her brother when she actually realized that her brother actually had committed that crime. She has not dealt with him or done anything for him since. And you wanted to bring up her husband when the facts are that her husband was wrongfully convicted. And it came out earlier this year that he was wrongfully convicted. The girl herself admitted that it was a lie, and she been tried to recant the statement. But
No.
That
I gotta stop you. She did not recant her story. She did not say it was a lie.
She did.
She didn't.
She did.
All right, can we pull it up then?
There's video evidence on the internet.
No, I've
where she was
watched all
talking
the
to
videos and
somebody.
I followed
She
it. She
did.
definitely did not recant. She said Nikki kept trying to get her to recant. She never.
Nah, she said, I've been said it was a lie. I've been telling them that it was a lie for years.
I'm sorry, I've never heard her say that, and I watched every video there is about her. She definitely did not recant.
She said she's been trying to get them to drop the charges, and she's been trying to recant that statement for years. She said it was a coerced confession. She said it was coerced or whatever the hell she said. I remember because I watched it.
No, but she definitely didn't say that though. I'm not trying to
she
be crazy, but she did not. I swear to God, she didn't say that. What she said was that her foster parents did not want her to go forward with it because they were getting threats. Because remember, he's a blood or something like that. They were getting threats to their house. They did not want her to do it. So that's why she was going to not recant. That's why she was going to drop the charges, because her parents were getting threatened. But then when it came out that they weren't going to drop it, because just like, I want to say 2004, 2005, they changed domestic violence, sex crimes laws where basically only the prosecutor can drop it. And the only reason they will drop it is if they really feel there isn't enough evidence. The problem is Kenneth Petty, actually, that is not his first rape charge. That's actually his second. If you look at the court documents, which I did actually see them because it's public record, because he
Mhm.
was over 18 at the time, or about to be 18 or whatever. At that point, he was being charged as an adult, not a minor. It says predicate, whatever. Predicate means you have done this before. And then there's actually a sealed record, which you cannot get to unless you actually are a lawyer representing him or a case related to him. But it's a sealed record for rape. So that's not his first rape case. She never said it didn't happen. She never recanted her story. What she said was her parents at the time did not want her to move forward because they were tired of getting threatened. They had people showing up at their door, showing up at their family members' houses, following her to work. All kinds of stuff was happening. She said she did not want that anymore for her family. So she said, I wanted this to be over. I just wanted to end it. But what happened did happen. She never said it didn't happen.
Well, in the video that I watched, and this is two different people, she said she was angry. She was speaking out of her, blah, blah, blah. She said she exaggerated the situation more than what it was. And she been wanted to take back her statement. Her friend even came forward and said whoever the hell they was talking to, because I never seen the face of the actual
It definitely
person
was not. No, if it,
that they
what
was
happened was
talking
when she
to.
first came out with, like, okay, first of all, she was forced out of privacy because actually since the thing happened, she's been getting death threats, and she showed proof that she's been getting death threats since the conviction actually happened. So it's not like just now her life has been, you know, put out to the forefront because of Nicki Minaj. She said actually her life has been threatened every single year consistently by Kenneth Petty and his friends and family since the shit happened years ago, which is why she said.
And I just put it on the screen. I don't know how good
Yeah.
or how good you can't see it. But
I'll look at it in a second. She's had to move several different times because of this very reason. She said she's had a new number like every couple months for the same reason. And she said she did not want her face out there. Only reason she ever showed her face and had to come out is because people kept outing her. Like people kept saying, "Oh, that's her, that's her."
I don't know, because
So
the video that I seen was her on a FaceTime call with somebody explaining the whole situation. Never seen who she was actually talking to, but she did say that she basically said it was. She said it's some truth to it, but most of what was said was a lie. It was an exaggeration. And her friend even came out and said that she been trying to tell her friend to step down from it for years because ultimately you lied on that man and said he did whatever he didn't do. Whatever the case might have been, I did see where they said something about dropping the charges, etc. My thing is, if they did all of that and the case was dismissed, Blase's Blase Squad, why is that man still registered as
the
a
case
sex
was not
offender?
dismissed. That's the thing. That's why I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. That case was never dismissed. He
all right,
was found guilty.
if you go to the full screen, you may be able to see it. But if not, it says the
Still can't
lawsuit
see
says that Hugh was offered $20,000 in exchange for a prepared statement recanting her accusation against Perry, while other members of her family claimed they would receive a payment of $500,000 if she wrote a letter taking back her claim. It further claims that she received a call directly from Minaj, but that within days of their conversation, she and her family received onslaught of harassing calls and unsolicited visits from people associated with Minaj and Perry.
Okay.
But what I was going to say, relating to what you probably heard, what I was getting to, which was long-winded, sorry. In the beginning, before she showed her face, there was somebody that I believe it was her cousin who she doesn't fuck with. Because apparently her cousin is really good friends with Kenneth Petty's baby mom because, you know, he has other kids, right?
Right.
So her cousin is really good friend with Kenneth's baby mom. And Kenneth's baby mom and Kenneth actually have a very good relationship. Even though they're not together, they have a cool, cohesive, co-parenting relationship. So they're, you know,
obviously, because you don't hear nothing from the lady. So
yeah. So basically, the baby mom's friend, who's Jennifer, the victim's cousin, she was coming out pretending to be Jen. She was calling radio stations, never showing her face. So if you're saying you didn't see a face, it's probably that cousin.
No, this particular video, the girl was on a FaceTime call with somebody. They had another phone recording the FaceTime call. You don't know who was behind the actual FaceTime call to the girl, but you've seen the girl in the video.
Okay, so what I was saying, I don't want to talk about this too much longer, but I just wanted to say the reason why you may have, or other people may have heard a story that she lied, is because the cousin and another friend who are also cool with Nicki and them, they be act like there's actual proof. So even when people were saying, well, why would your cousin do this? There's actual pictures of Nicki Minaj having house parties at, I don't know if it's at her actual house or a rented house or whatever, where her cousin is chilling with Kenneth and other people in the family, which means that, yes, she's on their side, not on Jennifer's side. And she's actually benefited from being friends with Nicki Minaj and them because she's, you know, been taken on trips. There's pictures of her Instagram of her with Gucci, this and that. Mind you, she's a hood booger. Like, she ain't got nothing, never had a job. So where you get all this money? Oh, it's because you're association with them. So basically, the cousin was basically trying to simmer down the story before it blew up to what it was by making it seem like Jennifer lied. And this is before Jennifer ever showed her face. And then what people were trying to do is say, oh, Jen's lying, why don't you show your face? She's like, I don't want to show my face because I literally, like, she showed proof. She showed a list of like different leases she had. She's like, I've had like 20 leases in the past 10 years because I have to keep moving. Every time I move, somebody finds out where the fuck I'm at and they start harassing me. And so she's like, this is why I don't show my face, because I've been harassed. Her daughter came out. Her daughter was like, I got picked on in school because I was always the new kid. I never got to make any friends. I never had a happy life because I had to keep moving because we kept being harassed. So it's not like the girl was trying to like be, you know, secluded and try to be secret about what happened. She's literally been harassed all her life since this shit happened. And she just been living a living hell. Like, I don't know what happened exactly. I was never there. All I know for a fact that as far as the victim, she has never said out her mouth that it never happened. She has never recanted her story. What she has said consistently has never changed. Her story has never changed, not one time. All she has said is he followed her home from school. He had a knife, not from school, from the bus stop or something like that. He followed her. I don't know if it was her house or he led her something. I don't remember. All I know is that she ended up having to go with him.
Well, according to what I just read here, the harassment suit that she had been dropped, and that was dropped on January 12th of this year.
Mm-hmm.
I sent Chuck the video that I was referring to. It is in his Instagram inbox if he want to put it up. Trying to find.
This is one story. Even though I don't really follow celebrity stuff, I was very invested in this story. I'm not gonna lie. So that's why I know. I'm like with the other stuff, I'll say a little bit, but with this, I will say a lot because I followed a lot of it.
Even with all that, it all boils down to none of that shit mattered about anybody in her family being or her being directly related to a rapist until y'all got into it
an argument
on social media. That's when you decided that it was an issue and you want to bring that up. It wasn't an issue when you was asking her for a feature, and then she further said, oh, now that's an issue. She said it wasn't an issue. She said, let me be clear. I didn't touch nobody. I didn't rape anybody. I wasn't there. I can't speak for what I do or what I don't know. She said, but that wasn't an issue when you was asking me for a feature. You did a whole song with Kodak, who is an alleged rapist. She said Dr. Luke has 11,000 claims, which is the producer of both songs, by the way, has 11 sexual allegations against him for sexual harassment and rape. Yet you felt comfortable to work with all those men, but now it's an issue, and I this, that, and the third about who I'm related to in regards to rape. She said, oh, so you became a rape advocate 5 minutes ago. What's even worse is, and I'm a firm believer in sweep in front of your door before you come sweeping at mine, because the internet did it for her and pulled the fact that your daddy is allegedly 60 some odd years old and your mama's only 39. So that means when your daddy was messing with your mama, she was between the ages of 16 and 17, maybe younger.
And she's a hard-looking 39.
And your daddy was in his 30s.
I Googled a picture of Lotto's mom, and I was like, she looks every bit of 50-something. So we're not going to talk about how old somebody looks. We're not going to do that because you age like an avocado. We are not doing this.
That's that lack of melanin. But even with that, it's just the audacity.
I'm going to Google that real quick.
It's just the audacity of you just threw rocks and tried to hide your hand, but you living in a glass house. And you talk strongly about your daddy.
Okay, do y'all want me to run this video or am I not?
Yeah, I'd like to see it because I have a feeling I know what this is because there's a video that they chopped and screwed and I actually saw the entire video, but they just took a snippet and they edited it to make it seem like she lied, but she didn't.
That's the only part I could find, so I know that's not the whole thing, but.
And regardless, if I made a statement or didn't make a statement, that is the reason why I stood up in court and I said, when a judge asks, like, yo, does anybody have anything to say before he is sentenced? I stood up and I said, Your Honor, I'm the person who pressed the charges. I would like to drop the charges. I made a huge mistake.
Wow.
This was like, I'm in court in front of his family, in front of friends, in front of everybody, like whatever. And they was like, take it to the DA, and nobody wanted to hear. The judge specifically said, take it to the DA.
This is
And
what
everybody looked at the DA, and the DA shook her head like, "It's not happening." Like,
this is when she was talking about when her parents wanted her to drop the
because
charge
you recanted your story. You told them it never happened. XYZ. You was young. You was pressured. Correct, right?
Yeah.
So that's why. Yeah, babe. I'm talking. Yeah. So that's probably.
But that's the video she's referring to.
Yeah, but that's also the same video where if you listen to the entire conversation, she mentions how she was sick of the harassment, she was sick of this and that, and at this point she's like, I was over it, and I went to go to the DA and I wanted to drop the charge because I was just tired of everything. Because at one point they were like, if my boy gets sentenced, trust and believe somebody's gonna, go missing, somebody's gonna die, da da da. And she was like, I'm over it. I want this to be done. And then she was just like, wanted to drop the charges, and she said, I was sick of it. I just wanted it to be over, but it was too late. So they didn't show the whole, and she got pissed about that too, because I remember she went on a couple different podcasts after that people interviewed her, and they were like, oh, what about this video? She's like, first of all, I have the whole video, and she played the whole video, and that was not how the conversation went. Only part that person put out was the part where she said, I want to recant my statement, I made a mistake, but they didn't play the part where she said, I was being harassed, and I was sick of it all, and I just wanted it to end. She never said it didn't happen.
Like I said, that was the only part I could find of it.
I believe you. That's why, I wasn't saying oh,
that's just breezing. That was just breezing through right quick for the save of time, just so you knew what I was referencing.
Oh yeah,
I'm glad what this is. I don't
know. I watch stuff on her, and I know.
Yeah,
her story.
My thing
that's
with
one
that
thing
is
her story never changed.
I don't know. I was not there.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen people do shit and accuse people of shit out of bitterness, and so on and so forth. But ma'am, if you gonna say it happened, I don't give a damn how long ago you said it happened, how many people just threatening and harassing you, da 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 da. If it happened, stand on that.
That seems easier said than done. Because
speaking from experience, stand on it.
But think about if your family was being people were actually showing up at your door.
Stand on it. My mother's life has been threatened in regards to something that happened to me countless of times. And she has always said, if you ever want to pursue it, go for it. I'ma stand behind you 10 toes down, or whatever come for me, come for me.
I mean, well, Jennifer's parents failed her too, because there's also stories of her uncle raping her repeatedly, and her parents took her to that person's house knowing what was happening to her. So her parents pretty much weren't shit anyway.
Wrong thing.
But yeah, that's another story. But anyway, what I will say about the Big Lotto thing, I don't really give a damn about either one of them, because I'm not a Barb, and I'm not a scratch off lover either. I don't know what you call her followers. Anyway, I'm neither one of them.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what you call Lotto's followers. I like both artists.
The gamblers. I don't know what the fuck you call them.
Like both artists. I'm not picking a side with that whole situation. For me, right is right and wrong is wrong. Don't love me and support me in private, and you can't do the same in public.
I understood from jump where Nicki Minaj was coming from. However, the part where you did say Nicki Minaj did it, okay, I get that. She did put in work, she did work hard, blah blah blah. Honestly, I hate the new Nicki Minaj. I loved the original Nicki Minaj with the bangs, like with the
everybody like the unproblematic.
That's the one that I rock with.
Quiet behind the scenes Nicki Minaj. But now that she's speaking up about how people been
I'm not talking about her attitude. I'm talking about her rap is whack as fuck to me. I cannot stand her music.
Everything is trash now.
But even still, back to what I was saying about the disagreement. She can't sit here and say they're not paying homage when she didn't pay homage either. So
she didn't say that though.
No, but I'm saying that's what everyone else keeps saying. Oh, these girls need to bow down. Okay, she never bowed down to anyone. She treated Lil' Kim like shit. Mind you, she literally mimicked every photo shoot Lil' Kim ever did.
Actually, she did not. And
she did.
I love having that argument with people. She didn't. If you go back to when she was an emerging artist, she always said.
After the break.
Huh?
Can we have the argument after the break?
Wait, can I just say this and then we can come back to
Hell,
it?
no.
No, it's not long-winded. It's not. She always said her inspirations were Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown. Her idol was Lauryn Hill. She's always said that.
I have never heard her say that.
She's always paid in her early interviews. She always paid homage. It wasn't until Kim started coming at that girl sideways that she was like, "Fuck her."
I don't remember it that way, but okay, we can go to break.
I want you to ask yourself one question. If you had 24 hours to live, what would you do? That's some deep shit right there. A lot of pressure. How would you handle it? Mix. What would you do?
Yo, I turn out all the hoes that's heterosexual. Smack conceited niggas right off the pedestal. I even look for my dad that I never knew, to show him how I look in my Beretta too. I do good shit like take kids from the ghetto, show them what they can have if they never settle. Take every white kid from high class level, show them what Christmas like, growing up in the ghetto. Teach niggas how to spend, stash the rest. Give blunts to the niggas under massive stress. Give every bum on the street cash to invest in. Hope Harlem will blow up. My last request.
If I had 24 hours to kick the bucket, fuck it. I'd probably eat some fried chicken and drink a Nantucket. Then go get a job from Branson and make sure I leave my mother the money to take care of grandson. Load the 3 power, hop in the Eddie Bauer and go give all 6 to that poppy that sold me flour. Get a fresh baldy, make a few calls, shop at the mall, shoot a little ball, have all of my bitches in one telly at the same time, spread it out on different floors, and I'm gonna play lotto. For what? Even though I ain't gonna be here tomorrow, so what?
You know, when I was close to the ledge, I'd probably be in the wedge with this bad Spanish mommy playing between my legs. Then I'm off to get choked and smoke one of them dreads and get that bitch to me 89 and gave us up to the feds. Thought of mama, wrote her a note, we ain't close. I hate her boyfriend, so I put one in his throat. Fuck around and sniff an ounce of raw. Bust the 4, pause, pull out my dick and take a piss on the floor. Jump in the whip, get them cats I wanted to get. Since the tavern on the Green robbery in 86. Went home, took a shower in nice cold water, and spent my last hours with my son and my daughter.
You had 24 hours to live, just think. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you want to notify? Or would your ass deny that your ass about to die? You had 24 hours to live, just think. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you want to notify? Or would your ass deny that your ass about to die?
If I had 24, nigga gotta get the raw. Run all in Poppy spot, put one in his head at the door. For the times that I paid for 20 and he gave me 12. The other 8 had to be baking soda by itself. So Poppy, fuck you. You dead now, I'm off to the bank with those bricks in the book bag and the stolen jag I just grabbed. Run in there, grab the bank teller with the pretty face. Fuck her in the safe to have her take me to my place. We'll make a kid, but that's selfish and that'd be bad. For my son to have the same shit as Pops just had. And when I'm down to 23, I'ma be strapped with TNT. Run up in City Hall and take the judges with me.
24 hours to live. I probably die on the 5th. Running the station, squeezing the end. I'll be waiting to get the hell and bust down Satan. Styles on the shit and I got spots vacant. Back to the 24, I'll make it out the precinct shooting niggas that I hate in they face while they're eating. I'm on the job robbing every so-called dawn. Give the money to my mom and tell her that I'm gone. I would school my little brother that niggas mean a mom. You should learn to tell a future without reading palms. When they coming with the bullets, you prepared with the bomb. So fuck being violent, get stocks and bonds.
24 left until my death. So I'm gonna waste a lot of life, but I'll cherish every breath. I know exactly where I'm going, but I'ma send you there first. And with the shit that I'll be doing, I'ma send you there first. I've been living with a curse, and now it's all about to end. But before I go, say hello to my little friend. But I got to make it right, reconcile with my mother. Try to explain to my son, tell my girl I love her. C4 up under the coat, snatch up my dog. Turn like 3 villains on wall, speaking to a fog. Out with a bang, you will remember my name. I wanted to live forever, but this wasn't fame.
If you had 24 hours to live, just think. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you want to notify? Or would your ass deny that your ass about to die? If you had 24 hours to live, just think. Where would you go? What would you do?
This is Real Life Spill ENT Radio.
That your ass about to die. If you had 24 hours to live, just think. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you want to notify? Or would your ass deny?
You are now locked into the Real Life Spill Show. Chuck C, A-Rain, DeRay, and GT. Right here on Real Life Spill ENT Radio.
Yeah. It could all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard. Loving you is like a battle, and we both end up with scars. Tell me who I have to be to get so reciprocity. See, no one loved you more than me, silly game that forces you to act this way, forces you to scream my name, then pretend that you can't say. Tell me who I have to be. I know what we gotta do to get so red. Reciprocity. See, no one loves you more than me, and no one ever will. No matter how we grow, you always seem to let me know it ain't working. It ain't working. It ain't working when I try to walk away. You hurt yourself to make me stay. This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh, this is crazy. I keep letting you back in. How can I explain myself? As painful as this thing has been, I just can't be with no one else. See, I know what we've got to do. You let go, and I let go too. 'Cause no one's hurt me more than you, and no one ever will. No matter how I think we go, you always seem to let me know it ain't working. It ain't working. It ain't working. It ain't working. And when I try to walk away, you hurt yourself to make me stay. This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. Care for me, care for me. I know you care for me, there for me. Said you'll be there for me, cry for me. You said you died for me, give to me, give to me. Why won't you live for me, care for me? You said you care for me, there for me. Said you'll be there for me, cry for me. You said you died for me, give to me, give to me. Why won't you live for me, care for me? You said you care for me, care for me. Said you be there for me, cry for me. You said you died for me, give to me, give to me. Why won't you live for me, care for me? You said you care for me, care for me. Said you be there for me, give to me, give to me. Why won't you live for me, cry for me? You said you died for me. When I needed you,
Let's go. Let's go.
The station that keeps it rocking 24/7.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Real Life Spill ENT Radio.
Yes, welcome back to the Real Life Spill Show. That's that song right there, man. Well, I don't know. That song, I don't know. It has different effects. No, I did not have anybody steal $30 from the pastor. But that is kind of messed up though. Serena ate on wings and we didn't feel like cooking today. So I'm like, all right, forget it. Let me order KFC. Everybody else get their food. Now we call the people back, mind you, and they say, oh, don't worry, we'll put in for a redelivery. Before I even started the show, I get a message that says, oh, your order has been modified or canceled. I was like, well, ain't this a blip? So
Look at God.
yeah, so I don't know. I guess maybe maybe that was my karma for those $30. Who knows? There was something I saw earlier that I just wanted to briefly share. I don't know this particular artist, but they were they were on social media earlier ranting.
Like we don't fuck with nobody. We don't talk. The baby don't fuck with me no more. Drake don't fuck with me no more. Fucking nobody fucks with Osiris. So why the fuck I keep living? Like, I'm trying to tell y'all that y'all not getting it. Like, so you tell me why should I keep living? I don't get it. Like, why y'all saying like y'all would tell me all type of shit, but I'm giving y'all explanations like why I should keep living. Oh, y'all keep using that Drake shit, huh? Drake don't fuck with me.
Okay.
Is it possible to make the screen bigger, like the words?
I'm not sure, but I actually just took it off. I just threw that in there, you know. Let's just I guess pray for dude because that blog that I follow, I guess they took that as he was talking suicide attempts or whatever. I said I never even heard of dude, but I saw it earlier. And I was like, okay. I was like, I just wanted to share it, you know, just try to spread some kind of awareness. And the funny part is with the back to the Lauryn Hill song, we were watching this new show by Tyler Perry called Satima earlier, and I forgot what he said, but I said, well, Lauryn Hill tell you that a long time ago. I just can't remember offhand the reference that was used and what was said exactly.
Was it from that song?
No, it was like having something to do with I know it was like some relationship, and then like, you know how she says, you know, when I try to walk away, you hurt yourself, you know, for me to stay or whatever. It was something similar to that. Because like the situation was from the show basically like, okay, so Fatima, that's when the main character, she ran into her ex and then he hit her with some shit about, oh, you know, I should have never, you know, typical nigga shit, I should have never let you go. I have cancer, I'm dying, yada yada yada. When his Zach's friends saw it, when his Zach's friends coming back being messy, showed him the video saying, oh, look at your girl hugged up with the dude. So Zach gets drunk later on that night, and he winds up with some girl who's a stripper that happens to be his new tenant next door. And like she was all dancing on him, and then because Zach has a history of being a hoe, the team is just like she knows Zach didn't do anything, but she's like thinking like she's just thinking like, oh well, what if he did? And then like they're going back and forth, and she's like, look at your pants, look at your pants. He's like, it's fucking glitter on my pants, bro. It's like it's glitter. She's like, what did I do? Did I fuck a box of glitter? If y'all haven't seen it, it's on BET Plus. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty funny moments. It's more it's a spinoff from his show Sisters. But it's a real good show so far from what we've seen.
Send me the login info.
I got you, definitely.
What I will say about the video you showed, I think I do sympathize with him. I don't know who he is. I don't know her story. I've heard his name mentioned in other people's mouths before. I just never put a face to it because I don't know who he is. And I'm not trying to play him like, oh, who is that? Like he's, you know, a nobody. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not familiar with him. But what I will say is that, huh?
I was about to say he big in the South, not to cut you off.
Okay. That's understandable. Just like, you know, for instance, like Dipset at one point was like everything in New York, but like some people in other places don't have any idea who these people are. Like, but you know, they're regional stars per se. Like a lot of people don't necessarily know who the Lox are, but they know who Jadakiss is. Or they may know one song by the Lox, but they don't know who everybody is. Like they don't like, because you know, they're regional stars. I mean, yeah, they are international stars, but as far as like how big they were, that was definitely a New York thing. But anyway, I want to say two things. So one thing, not everybody, a lot of people have been in a place where you feel like you're literally alone. I know I have. I spent like I'd say 4 or 5 years at one point. I want to say from 2011 through 2016 were like honestly the worst years of my life. Like everything could have gone wrong went wrong. Like my relationship was a mess. My family life sucked. I had a terrible relationship with my mom. I lost my place at one point. There were times where I barely had food to eat, and if it wasn't for WIC, I wouldn't have ate. um, Terrible situations with jobs. Just like everything, like drama with neighbors, drama in the neighborhood, drama with so-called friends and family, like family talking smack about you and your relationship and looking down on you, like no support. Like I remember at one point, when you guys fill out the emergency form for school with your kids and they say put like 2 emergency names. Like I remember for like 4 years straight crying every time I got those papers because I had nobody's name to put on it because I didn't have anyone. And I know how it feels to be alone. I know how it feels to literally have no one, meaning like not even just to have a drink with, like you have no one, like no one. And yeah, you got friends that are fickle and they only call you on your birthday maybe or social media, but they're not really friends, you know what I mean? I couldn't call them and say I'm having a crisis. I just need to get out the house for like 5 minutes and just take a walk around the block with me. Can you just talk? Like I didn't have that for years. And I've gotten accustomed to being by myself because also in school I was always the new kid because we moved a lot. So I was used to being alone, but not that alone to the point where like you literally have no one to turn to. At least when I was alone, when I was a new kid, within a week or two, I had friends. But it's lonely for 5 years to go through drama, to go through setbacks, to go through all kinds of stuff and have no one to talk to about it, no one to support you, no one to pat you on the back and say it's okay, nobody to sit with you and just cry with you or just let you vent, like just not have that. It took a toll on me. And it got also to the point where I learned not to trust anyone with my feelings. Like even with Rain, she and I have gotten like really close. Like she's literally like one of my best friends right now. And it took me years to find her. And it was
Yeah.
it took a while. It's sad. And like even talk about it now, I'm not as emotional as I would have been maybe 2 years ago talking about this because I'm a lot happier now. But I've also learned, even with Rain, we don't talk every day. We send each other funny stuff on social media all the time. But I know that if something ever happened, I can call on her. And I don't know if he's in that situation where he has no one. And that is a sucky feeling. But what I will also say is what I learned is to be okay with being alone. And the reason I say that is because there will be times where it could be 2 a.m. and you can't call anybody. You can't text somebody. You need to be okay with being alone. You need to be okay with not depending on people. If being lonely has taught me anything, it is that all you have is like how Beyonce said, you got me, myself, and I, and that's it.
Right.
Even if you're married, it's me, myself, and I. Because one day your spouse might pass away and it's just you.
Right.
One day your kids will grow up and they'll have their own lives. They ain't gonna be thinking about you. So you need to be okay with being alone. And it sucks.
Until they want something from your ass. Then
but even still, it's still lonely because they're not there because they want to be. They're there because they want. And we've all done it to a family member. If you weren't like I know Chuck, you weren't necessarily raised by typical household with mother father, but at the same time, your caregiver. At some point, we have all done that where you're so busy with your own life, you don't really come around unless it's necessity. You know what I mean? But what I will say about that is, the first point was like I said, you have to be okay with being alone. You have to be okay with yourself. You have to learn that your problems are not everyone else's problems. The reason I say that is I may be stressing about something. You got your own stressors. So at the end of the day, my crisis is not your crisis.
Right.
My issues are not your issues. I can't expect you to be depressed about my breakup. I can't expect you to be depressed about me losing my job. You may feel sorry for me, but it's not the same. So for me to expect you to be depressed right along with me and to feel exactly how I feel, it's not realistic. The second thing, what I will say is, it goes kind of hand in hand with being okay with being by yourself, but stop depending on other people to not so much validate you. Because like I said, I don't know his situation or if they had a fallout, if there was a beef, if he did something crazy. I don't know the situation, why he says these people don't mess with him. But you need to stop worrying about why somebody's not talking to you. I have become accustomed to, like, for instance, all right, so maybe 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, a really good friend of mine, which I will not name her, we're still cool. Like, we never had beef, no argument, no nothing, no fallout. For some reason, we just kind of grew apart. And I'm not going to lie, it hurt me a little because I feel like she pushed away more. And maybe because she was going through something. I don't know. We haven't discussed it. But I learned to be okay with never getting the answer. And it sucks. You have to be okay with why people don't mess with you. You don't have to worry about why or maybe what's going on. Like, it's okay to check in on people, but if they're giving you pushback or if they're not really giving you the same amount of attention or effort, be okay with dropping it.
Right.
One of the people that we mentioned earlier, who's a leader in our church, we had this discussion with somebody who is kind of iffy with them. And she's like, I don't understand. When I reach out, she doesn't get back. I was like, you got to believe her for who she is. I said, you dealt with this person a little while ago, and she kind of fell off the map after she gave you her number, and she kind of fell off. I said, maybe she's going through something. Maybe that's just who she is. Some people are fickle like that. Some people are real iffy. And I said, you need to be okay with the fact that y'all may never be as cool as you'd like things to be. You may have to be okay with the fact that this is a sometimey ass friend, and you just may not have to have that type of relationship. It is what it is. And I've gotten so used to that. And the friend that I had a couple of years ago, for some reason, we used to have mom dates where we bring the kids. We all go to the park. We have our wine at the house. Da, da, da. It was like that. That was the friend that I went to. And then out of nowhere, I don't know what happened. I don't know if I said something to her, offended her. I don't know. Because she never said anything. And I thought we had that type of relationship where she would say, Shayna, I wasn't cool with whatever you said. I'm not cool with how things went, but whatever. But nothing happened. We didn't have no argument, no nasty text message, no nothing. And then out of nowhere, it just became, we saw each other less. I would invite her to a birthday party. She wouldn't come. I would invite her to something. She wouldn't come. She wouldn't reply. Oh, I can't make it, blah, blah, blah. And I wouldn't hear from her for months. And then out of the blue, I was like, well, let me try to invite her again. I got nothing. And then eventually I just stopped trying. And that's not the first friendship I've had. I've had a couple friendships where people just like fell off. And I also had to realize that a church member of ours posted something like this, and I commented that she said it first, that everybody can't go with you on your way up, and sometimes it's like that. And one of the things that I made a serious prayer, like I've learned how to pray for myself and for other people, where it's not, oh God, fix it. It's more so like a deliberate prayer. Like I was like, God, I'm stuck in a rut. I don't know what's going on. I got tired of being depressed and being lonely and this and that. And I said, I need things to change. I said, I need you to fix the people, places, and things that are not putting me in the position I need to be. Be careful when you pray that, because I promise you, you will be shocked by the people that are in your way. So
love it every time. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm back, y'all. Love it every time. Cause let me tell you something. I am somebody frequent who, listen, medically by a diagnosis bipolar type 2 for years. I pray that prayer all the time because again, I'm big on peace, big on energy. So everybody does not always, and it's not always their fault. Everybody's not always coming to you with genuine energy. And it's because some people don't realize just by touching somebody, you transferring energy, you transferring spirits. So somebody could be going through something that you have no idea, and they come and drop that load off on you. You could be having one of the best days of your life, and that person come and touch you, and your whole mood change, and you like, what is going on?
That's a fact.
Like literally, I love this job. Had this job for 7 years. Me and my boss were like cool, like 4 flats, and it just got to a place where y'all know the pandemic was weird. A lot of people was working, da 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 da. I went through the in and out of phase during the pandemic. Ultimately, it was really my decision, more or less, to sit at home with my kids because I couldn't risk their health and minds for nobody. So, sorry, just couldn't do it. But when everything kind of opened back up and I went back, everything started off great. Like it felt good to be back in the workforce. It felt good to be interacting back with my coworkers and everything. And she put me on this one case. Now, I had never in my life ever been in a mental crisis or anything of that shape, like to that capacity, to the point where I actively was asking to be committed because I couldn't figure out what was going on with me. And I'm explaining to my boss, I'm like, listen, something is off. Like I can't put my finger on it, but I would wake up feeling like I was out of myself. Like it was almost like my body's functioning and I'm conscious of my body functioning, but it didn't feel like it was me. It felt like an out of body experience. And she was going through some things on her own. And I pray for her all the time. I haven't spoken to her since. She was going through some things on her own where she ended up separated back at home with her parents and being so provider for her parents and her kids, yada yada yada. So I mean, I sympathize and empathize with her in that situation. But first of all, we come from two different demographics. There is melanin and the lack thereof. So while while it's on the same playing field, it ain't the same game. So where I empathize with her is I don't ever think that it's fair for a woman to be, especially since she was married for as long as she was, and it wasn't on some he cheated or she cheated. They just grew apart and couldn't figure out how to find the time between themselves to get to know each other. So for them, separation and divorce was just the best thing that they seen fit for their situation. It just was unfortunate that she became the sole provider and sole parent for the kids. I thought that was messed up. So I empathized with her for that. Now here's where things got tricky. You sat there and was like, "Oh, I used to question how you used to do it." She's like, "Because I used to always hear, although you have a spouse, you're ripping and running for your kids, da 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 da." So that's because we find the balance. My husband works during the day. He's home when the kids are home. But during the day, while he's at work, yes, doctor's appointments, all that type of stuff is on me. Don't get it twisted. If they got a performance or I really need him to be somewhere, he gonna make sure he there. But just the general stuff, yeah, that's on me. And it's not because he making it be on me. I knew that's what I signed up for when I had multiple children. So she was like, I never understood that because I never had that issue. I've always had a nanny, da 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 da, or somebody else to pitch in. So she was like, I just want to say I commend you. She's like, because this is hard. She was like, I didn't understand until I started living it. So jumping forward, she put me on a case. Sweet couple. Been together for years. All their kids was grown, moved out. Their grandkids was grown at this point. The husband's health was deteriorating. The wife's health was better than the husband's health, but her health was deteriorating. It was right before, I think, Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken. And this just stuff started happening in their house. They had certain things in their house started falling apart. Cause y'all know old people don't maintenance their stuff like they should. Stuff just started falling apart. So they started losing food. The wife was frustrated because she was straining and tearing up her back trying to make sure her husband was good. He was not that mobile. They lived in a upstairs downstairs house. They outside of their house had stairs, so it was a lot on her just to transport her husband to and from appointments and stuff. So they hired help. I came in. Now first day, this lady is aggressive as hell, and I was like, okay, please don't tell me she one of them because I'm gonna have my work cut out for me. But when she explained to me what was going on and she apologized for coming off aggressive, I realized, okay, maybe she was just frustrated with the situation because it's days before Thanksgiving and her refrigerator gave out. So now she got to throw all this food away. And what she can salvage, she had to transfer to the refrigerator in the garage, which she had to go downstairs to get to. And she already had back issues. Now, first day, fine. Second day, fine. The third day in their house, I just got this drunk feeling, and I was like, what is this? I was like, I ain't smoked, I ain't drink. This
She
is
tried to Cosby
weird.
you?
Huh?
She tried to Cosby you?
No, I hadn't drunk nothing, ate nothing. I just had got there. I wasn't there 10 minutes before this feeling hit me. And I was like, this is weird. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just having an off day. I take the husband to the doctor's appointment, bring him back, help him with his lunch, whatever, and then I leave. So I said, all right, let me go home and lay down. I don't know what this feeling is. Whatever. Went home, laid down. Got up, felt better. I was like, okay, maybe it was just, a momentary thing. Man, I woke up the next day and it was worse. And I was like, what is this? Like my heart was racing. I felt out of my mind. What is really going on? And no explanation. I'm talking to my therapist and she's like, write it down. Explain what you're going through as you're going through it. Because I literally wake up the next day and couldn't really tell you much about the day before. Like, I knew the basics of the daily operation, but I really couldn't tell you what I accomplished in that day or what my general feelings were. Nothing. After like the 4th day, I reached out to my boss and was like, I can't do this case no more. You got to put me on something else because something not right in this house. I said, and I don't know what it is. I'm in a mental crisis. I need to come out of here ASAP. And I thought it was just them. So then she put me on another case. And I was fine when she put me on the other case. Like, I think I went to that case maybe 2 months. And only one time did I have that experience. So she was like, nobody else wants to go there. She was like, and the lady refuses to let anybody else come there. She said she wants you back. Do you think you can go back at least just to take him to the appointments and then drop them off home and you can leave? She's like, you don't have to stay no more time than that. She said she just literally needs somebody to transport him to and from the appointments. I said, you know what? Okay, fine. As long as I don't have to step foot in their house, cool. Because I thought it was something in their house. No. Every time I made contact with these people, I started going through this weird out-of-body experience. I was like, the devil is a liar. Lord, I don't know what this is. I don't know where it's coming from, but I need you to lift it up off of me. Because if you don't, it's going to take me out. I felt it. I was like, I'm asking to be committed at this point. And y'all know I do not like leaving my kids. So for me to actively, consensually tell my therapist, you'll call wherever you got to call to have me committed because I fear for my life and everybody else is around me because I can't tell you what's happening. Like, I literally will go to sleep and wake up and can't tell you what happened before I went to sleep. I don't remember anything. It was not safe. The only thing that was allowing me to remember what was going on was the fact that I was actually in my notes on my phone, actively typing hour by hour what I was going through, what my thoughts were, how I was feeling. And it was like, when I talked to my therapist and I'm reading this back to her, I felt like I was reading a chapter from a book because none of this was resonating with me. I had to pray it up off me. I was like, Lord, whatever it is, job, person, environment, remove it. Remove it from me. But when you remove it, give me the understanding of why you removed it so I don't fall back into that pattern. If that's not a place I'm supposed to be in, I don't want to be there. I don't want to step back into that unbeknownst that you removed me from it. And because I didn't have the understanding that you removed me from it, I go back to it. If you remove somebody, I don't want to feel like, oh, they abandoned me or I just walked away from that person and they have the opportunity to try to guilt trip me to make me feel like I indulged in something and left them hanging. Let me know that you pulled me out of it. And that's exactly what he did. And it hurt. And CJ would tell you it hurt because I had to walk away from a job that held me down when nobody else held me down financially. And even, like emotionally, I could talk to my boss just about anything. We resonated as women outside of our career paths. So it was really hard and I knew it was God that made this conversation go the way that it did. Because this lady in 7 years had never spoken to me the way that she's spoken to me. I told her, I was like, listen, I can't do this. I need to step away for a few weeks to get my feet back grounded. Something is going on and there's a shift happening in my life and I'm having a mental crisis. I said, and too much is going on because at the exact same time, my apartment was falling apart and I was on the verge of losing where we were living. And I was being threatened with CPS because my apartment was falling apart out of my control and the city wasn't doing what they were supposed to be doing. I said, I have too much to focus on with my mental being all over the place and the fact that I have to secure a roof over my kid's head. I need a few weeks to myself to figure out what's going on, get my feet back on the ground, get my family back placed. And I will let you know. She's like, I literally have nobody else to fill your slots because we're down to X, Y, and Z employees, yada, 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 yada. Now, mind you, I've always been accessible to her. She would bend over backwards for me to make me have cases. I would bend over backwards for her to be in tight squeezes in cases where she literally would have last minute call offs and nobody to get there. And when I told her that, this lady hit me with that. It's always something. And frankly, I'm sick of it. And I said, excuse me? She's like, it's always something in your life. And at this point, you need to find the balance. And no disrespect, but your mental health is not my problem. You as an employee need to do your job. That's all I ask of you. Indirectly, she said, suck it up, buttercup, without saying suck it up. And I said, in no way, shape, form, or fashion, I don't know what bridge you jumped off of, what screw got loose in your head today, whatever it was. But I said, I've told you from the time you met me until today, and I will never, ever choose your company over the livelihood of my children or mine. If I'm telling you that my life is in shambles and I need y'all to hold on for a second, you can or cannot. And the fact that you just said that to me lets me know that after all of these years, our time has come to an end. She's like, oh, but you at least have to give me 2 weeks. I said, I don't have to give you anything. Consider this my final day. You will not be getting a 2-week resignation. I said, if you want to hold that little check, you can have it. Whatever sets your heart free. But I'm done. We are done. And for days, I was crushed. And then not even so much that I had to quit the job, but just the way that somebody that I considered a friend had spoken to me. And CJ was like, that was God. I was like, you think so? He was like, y'all never had no type of conversation like that. You and that lady never got off on the wrong foot with each other, and y'all been through a lot. You and that job have been through a lot. He said, so if that was how it had to end, he said, I'm pretty sure that was God telling you leave it alone and walk away. And you know what? After praying on it, that happened months ago. The year's almost ending. That happened in like March. And somebody said to me the other day, well, you know, because I've been having a hard time outside of being pregnant, and I'm so far along in my pregnancy that it doesn't make sense, because every job comes with a 90-day probationary period, and I won't make it out the 90 days before I hit maternity leave. I said, I'm going to sit down. But outside of that, I had to realize that God put me in a sit down period. He was like, sit down. Sit down. You keep trying to get up and do what you want to do and say, I got to do this and I got to do that. He said, sit down. Right now is your sit down period. Haven't quite figured out why it's a sit down period, other than the fact that I'm carrying life. But he said, sit down. I don't care how many jobs you apply for, where you apply for them, they're not going to happen. Sit down. Somebody said, well, since you're having trouble finding a job, why won't you go back? Why won't you just sit down and to give your job your expectations as to what you will and won't accept going forward, and just go back as a rehire? And I thought about it, and I was like, and I prayed on it, and it was a nope. It was a definite no. And the funny thing is, right before that person said that, it was either right up before or right after, I had hit them up, like, because they have a phone. I had texted them and was like, hey, despite everything, was just checking on you guys, because you were genuine people, to see how you guys were doing, if everybody was okay. And I want to check in on a client who basically had become family to me. And I didn't get no response. And that was confirmation right then that was a door that was closed to be not opened again. So sometimes when you pray that, you got to stand on it. But people get it twisted when they pray, and then they could get confused and try to backtrack because they didn't ask for the understanding to go with the removal or the elevation from that situation. And you got to stop taking stuff like that personal too. When somebody going through a phase, or they're going through a rebirth or an evolution in their life, don't take it personal as if they abandoned you or they just started moving funny. It's not that. It's life. Everybody's not meant to go with you everywhere. And just because you and I stop communicating on level 2 doesn't mean when I get to level 10 that we won't reconnect, or I won't be presented the opportunity to reach down my hand to pick you up and bring you up on level 10. Sometimes I have to do the groundwork, and you're not meant to be there for the groundwork. If you are meant to be in my life for purpose and not just a season, sometimes I have to place the groundwork to elevate you to where I'm at. It's nothing personal. That's just how the universe, God, or whatever you believe in, has it set up. And a lot of people stop asking for understanding. They just, oh, you moving funny, or you never mess with me like that. It took me a while to stop doing that and just started being like, you know what? God did that. There was a reason, unbeknownst to me, that me and that person has had a lapse in relationship, or maybe that relationship has came to an end. Like today, I had somebody reach out to me and I was like, either it's the devil or God, you being funny. Because I don't bother with this person in no way, shape, form, or fashion. This person has tried to burn me on more than one occasion. So why would they be reaching out to me on some friendliness? I didn't even respond. I just said I'm gonna pray on it, because either it's the devil trying to be busy or God trying to use me to navigate something in that person's life. And I'm still waiting on the answer to that. But it's just weird. Like some people, like my two best friends from high school, me and these girls go months without talking to each other, and it's never on no personal, I'm not messing with you, we all mothers, we all got husbands, significant others, it's life. Like, and we know that I'm not gonna speak to you every day. I'm gonna check in on you because I genuinely care every now and then. And if we could get up, we could get up, but it's never nothing personal. Even my male best friends, it's never nothing personal. Like, you living life, I'm living life. I care about your well-being, so obviously I'm gonna check in with you every now and again. But I'm not gonna get in my feelings and go, oh, you don't talk to me no more, you must not love me, or da-da-da. I hate that. Stop doing that, because yes, people make time for what they want to make time for, but that's not always true. It's only 24 hours in a day, and we sleep at least, well, I can't even say at least 8 hours, because that's a lie. We sleep at least 4 hours a day. So, just because somebody didn't take the time to reach out to you when you felt like they should have, does not mean you are not on their brain. Look, I went from talking to my mother and my grandmother every day to, as long as I touch in with them at least once a week, that's fine with me. We catch up in that once a week, because life is hard for everybody. I know I got long-winded and y'all just listening. Make sure y'all ain't fall asleep. Y'all still there?
Boo! Hey, Rain, shut the fuck up. I was just, I guess you needed to get that off, but that was good though, because as I was saying, I don't know the dude personally, but I was saying, just trying to just spread some mental awareness, because the blog was like, oh, it looked like he was gonna take himself out, or he was gonna kill himself, or whatever. So I mean, I guess that's why we went to where we went to. But I just did want to touch on one last thing before we closed out the show, because I wanted to touch on this on the last show, and I was like, I don't want to move it to another show again.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I think, yeah, of course, you and I talked about it. Me and GT talked about it, and so the one, I'm about to say 112. My mind is going crazy. So
he talking about the Diddy and Mace beef?
Yeah, but no, before we even go on to that, Bad Boy against So Def in a versus. Now, you and I had the conversation. Even me and GT had the conversation. It's like, well, So Def is gonna win by default, because what Bad Boy artist is gonna come? Besides French Montana, and maybe Jadakiss.
Yeah, because whoever ain't dead got beef.
So with the whole, with the whole beef situation, I'm not even gonna go try to find the clips and all that. And it's just Diddy was like, "Oh, if you say I owe you money, and just the short term." Diddy's like, "Yo, if you say I owe you money, pull out the receipts." Mace hits back and says, "Oh, receipts, and your mother got the receipts," and then saying how Big can't give no receipts because he's dead, saying how Craig Mack can't give no receipts because he's dead, saying how Black Rob can't give no receipts because he's dead. The only thing is, I'm in agreement with everybody else. Like with Diddy, how many more people are gonna tell the same? All these people are gonna
everybody's got the same
lie.
story, but yet everybody's lying.
Yeah, everybody had the same logic, but Diddy swear he's never done anyone wrong.
Well, most narcissists do that. Most liars do that. They'll steal from you and help you look for it. So, I mean, Why?
We did a hand clap.
Like, why would you expect anything different? I feel like a lot of people. What I hate about, I don't like to be like this generation type person, but it sounds like, let me not even call it generation. This trend seems to be happening over the last like 10 years that the richer you are, the less likely you are to do anything wrong. Like, you're just basically God. So basically, you got people that say things like, Beyonce's in such a position. Oh, how could she ever such as? Because she's human. What do you mean? How could she ever? She eats, sleep, shit, looks like everybody else. So same thing with Diddy. Oh, how could Diddy? Oh, look how rich he is. Shut up. Just because he's rich doesn't mean he doesn't have faults. How do you think he got as rich as he is?
Right.
He got it off the backs of other people and messed up contracts. Like, I guess, granted, you are an adult, and as far as I know, none of his artists, except for Little Kim, were minors when they signed, which means that y'all had the eyes and ears that everybody else has to be able to listen to what's being said and to read the contracts. Yes, you should not be giving people shady contracts to begin with. But one thing I will say that I learned from my shady ass aunt, who is now, I don't know if she's in heaven or hell, but she's not here anymore. She has actually made me realize that whenever you sign a contract with somebody, that you are to get your own attorney to review it. Do not use their attorney, because they will always skip over the fine print. They will always skip over the messed up part of it. Get your own attorney to review contracts. If you cannot afford attorney, I don't know. Get somebody who you know knows some type of law and start looking up terms. If you start seeing stuff you don't know, Google what those words mean and see what you're signing. Now, granted, like I said, it's messed up to even give somebody a bad contract, but it's also on the artist to make sure you're not getting gypped. What ended up happening with a lot of Diddy's contracts is he made it so that, just like with any artist, I love how B2K one time did an interview. I want to say it was the Breakfast Club, but it might have been something else, where they literally sat there and no, it wasn't Breakfast Club. It was before the Breakfast Club existed. It was like 2004 or something like that, where they sat there and they broke down how an artist could sell millions of records and still be broke. TLC did it too. Left Eye broke it down as well.
Yeah.
Where basically, a lot of it goes towards paying your dancers. Paying
They had a shady ass person behind
They
them.
did. They did. Chris
shady as shit. Yeah, Chris Stokes, another shady ass person.
He's still making money off of them. That's the crazy part.
And their trauma and pain from him sticking his penis in little boys. But anyway, they basically explained how these contracts put you in positions where you're literally never meant to make money. Like, it's only for the benefit of those people. When typically artists make their money from shows, B2K, TLC, Diddy's artists, even with the shows, their contract was set up where they're not even getting show money. Diddy was still getting the show money. And it's just really sad and messed up because, yes, you are an adult and you are signing contract. Not B2K's term because they were minors, but I'm just saying, if you are an adult signing a bad contract, yes, it's on you to have someone else review it if you can. Even if it's $100 divorce lawyer, whatever. Just get somebody who knows some law terms.
But these industries so shady now that they literally would tell them, "Oh yeah, you can't afford a lawyer. We'll hire a lawyer." And
it's one of their people.
Yep, that'll tell these kids or whoever signed it, "Oh no, it's a good contract." Yeah, because you already in their damn pocket.
And they're just showing you the dollar signs in the contract, not realizing that there's a whole bunch of hoops you got to jump through to even get a dollar of it. But
AKA 360 deals.
Yeah.
Speaking of deals and contracts, I'm on Instagram and Glorilla and Hit Kid are at it because
I don't know who Hit Kid is.
He's a producer.
Okay.
Said that she basically went and signed using FNF and he got cut out of the deal. So now he's saying he want what's rightfully his because he produced the song. And he said, when you go to sign to a label, you and your team reach out to me so we can get each other squared away so there's no issues. And you went and signed behind his back. You never even let him know that you signed and never negotiated anything with him. So now he's like, yo, how the hell did I find out with the rest of the world that you signed to a label and that's my song? And ain't nobody paid me for my song. My thing with this is dibbling and dabbling in music here and there. I'm just trying to figure out why she didn't buy the exclusivity to the song to begin with. Or if you couldn't afford the exclusivity to the song, why didn't y'all have a contract in order beforehand because he told you the song was gonna blow up. So I ain't picking a side, but I'm kind of
Glad
like
it did, cause it's a banger.
he fumbled on his own accord too because me personally working from both sides, if I know that a song is gonna take somebody's career and skyrocket it, you gonna have to buy me out from the door, or B, we gonna have to have some kind of contract in place that says if you blow up off this song, I make X, Y, and Z% off the royalties.
But it's supposed to happen that way regardless.
Yeah, usually they do that once they get signed. If they never signed a contract, they have an understanding that when they get signed, X, Y, and Z of royalties is due for the song. Or they could do like we do. We have somebody produce a song or a beat. We buy the exclusivity to it because it just makes life so much easier.
But think about Swiss and go back to Swiss. Remember when he said he made the beat for Rough Riders, especially that Rough Riders anthem, and it became such a hit, and he was getting all those checks, and he said he didn't even know that he was supposed to get money off of that, or thought it wasn't legitimate money that he was getting.
Yeah, he was throwing them away. He had a couple of shoe boxes. Yeah, but that's because he didn't know the business. But the people in his corner looked out for him. I think what that is kind of messed up that you went and signed the whole contract and didn't look out for this man when this man literally told you the song was gonna take your career and make it into something, and you trying to make it seem like he after your pockets because now you somebody. No, right is wrong, sis. If y'all ain't have no contract in place, or that man specifically said, reach out to me when you vetting out labels so you and I can work out an understanding, and you signed and just said F him, you wrong, and he get to sue you and the label. Because what you forget is he still got the stems to that. You don't.
And that's another thing. Like, can we just anybody? I mean, it's probably easier said than done. But I know even Rick Ross, he did it with that baby.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? How it's funny. It's funny. I think that was one of the most respectful diss tracks I ever heard. Idols Become Rivals, because like he said what he had to say, but still at the same time told Stunner he loved him, but like called him out on his bullshit. Like he's like, I couldn't believe like he was putting on the front, and then on top of that, on top of putting on the front, you're not paying people their money. It's like saying how those cars was leased and the jewelry was leased and all
A
that
lot of
stuff.
that shit is smoke and mirrors and facades, but people don't understand that. It's
like,
smoke and mirrors, facades, and facades, baby. A lot of that is just to make you think that's the lifestyle that they live in, and they not.
That's
Most
even
of the
like going
people are
back,
in debt.
yeah. That's even like going back to the Boondocks, to the Gangsta-licious episode. He was like, where your gun? He's like, how you drop the gun? That's not gangster. He's talking about, come on, I know we got a faster way. We can go get in your jet. He's Gangsta-licious. Oh man, that jet was leased. He's like, come on. He's like, and you broke too?
Yep. A lot of them are in debt. They do not live the lifestyle that they put on. A lot of that jewelry they show you, that should be fake or it be rented. It is not theirs. The richest people do not flaunt it.
Yep. Very true. But yeah, I wasn't aware of the whole versus thing. So when you guys mentioned the whole social deaf thing, I was like, is social deaf beefing with Diddy too? I was like, I was like, Jermaine Dupri, he's duping people. I know he duped Chris Cross, but I didn't know he duped anybody else.
He called Diddy out a long time ago, and
Jermaine Dupri,
he said, yeah, like you said, Diddy being narcissistic is kind of like, kind of like he said it without indirectly saying it. Like you can never. You can never stand to my standards, so you could never go there with me because you don't have enough. Like he said it without saying it.
Okay, well that's enough shade in and of itself, considering that they both
about it.
the game around the
Y'all
same.
ever seen any other record executive or producer besides DJ Khaled in everybody videos and everybody music?
Nope.
I mean, you want my standpoint on it? Y'all are both some dancers. I mean,
JD never denied that he started as a background dancer.
I'm not, but I'm just saying with a rapping perspective, like JD is not the greatest rapper, and neither is Diddy.
But he never proclaimed to be, and I love that about
him. He never did.
Right.
He never said, "Oh, I'm a rapper." He said, I make beats. And he went from dancing to making beats. And really, honestly, JD got the business passed down from his dad.
He said, I make beats and I recognize talent. I'm a scout.
Yeah.
But
And he's been great at it.
But I'm just thinking of Bad Boy, like, okay, with Shine and Shine, he did an interview, and he's saying how he forgave Diddy, and that's another thing. I always said from the beginning, I was like, two shady ass producers, in my opinion, will always forever be Diddy, and it would always be Suge Knight. There's no ifs, ands, and buts.
You know who I like to add to that list and say what y'all want?
Who that?
DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled doesn't cross me as shady though.
Why not?
He's annoying as hell, but
I mean,
I don't know if
besides
he's
the fact that he
given
screams
me-
on everything, but he doesn't cross me as
It
shady.
don't give you Diddy vibes?
No, he gives me
No,
annoying attention whore vibes.
Diddy started out like that.
Yes, he's an attention whore, but he's also a thief, and they both can exist, and they both can be exclusive. And I
Right.
think with DJ Khaled, they're exclusive. Like he does not. Give
I
me
think he's
vibes.
more fair in profits.
Yeah, that's
than
what I'm
Diddy
saying. I
is.
think like Khaled is gonna back and support his own though. Like I don't think like he's gonna like really shit on
But
people.
where the longevity will come in is when people want to buy their catalogs and the rights back to their music. Let's see how that work out, because that's what a lot of artists are going through with Diddy. You don't want to let them buy back the rights
Yeah,
of
you don't wanna
to
get
their
them-
music or their catalog.
Yeah, you don't want to give them their masters because that was one of the biggest problems that he had with the locks when fucking Jada threatened to throw a refrigerator on him. And I'm like, can you imagine a steel appliance refrigerator? You threatened to throw that on?
Sheesh.
I mean, they actually did go in there and tear some stuff up, though.
Of
Yeah,
course
I
they
re-
did.
I remember I was gonna, like I said, I didn't want to go find.
And they
him
did it on.
clips and stuff.
Well, they cursed him out on live radio.
Yep.
Then
Yeah, I was
another
gonna
time
play
they
the clip.
walked in on an interview that he was doing and interrupted it and started something. And then they had that meeting where it did get violent. So yeah, a couple times the Locks was about that life, and they was like, "Yeah, I'm willing to tear everything up."
Yeah, because
TLC too. Remember they went in and held the record label hostage.
same thing with what's his name. Same thing with what was that? Ice Cube from NWA.
Yep.
He went in
Y'all
there
gonna
so
stop
upset
playing
that
with
bitch
my
about
money.
that. Yeah, but I remember the phone conversation, and and Diddy, he's on the phone, he's talking all gangster and
He
hard.
told me, I come to my office, we can talk. And Kid said, for what? For you to have the whole what he said?
He said, you got the whole National Guard downstairs.
Hello. Stop with the tough guy talk.
I died, but I'm just thinking like some of the earlier artists, like I said, I know Shine, he caught a bad break. I mean, and that was something like you took. I don't know how the incident went, but the word is that he took the charge for Diddy. Diddy was supposed to.
Oh,
get
I
the
remember because I was in high school and my best friend was in love with Shine at the time. That was her man. She swore that was going to be her husband. She's like, "I'll wait for you, girl. Shut the hell up." Anyway,
Lord.
As you see, that didn't happen. But what I think, what actually happened was there was a club that they went to. Diddy was with J-Lo at the time, and they all went in there. It was a big affair. I don't know if it was a birthday party, if it was just I don't know. It was a party. Shots rang out. Shine thought he was defending, the people he was with, and at that point, Shine was still in them streets, and so he did what street people do. He shot back. Unfortunately, someone did end up getting shot. I don't know if the bullet came from
Streetwise said that the guy that got shot or the people that started shooting had some kind of beef with Diddy, and the guy that particularly had beef with Diddy was the one who ultimately ended up dying.
Okay, so yeah, basically multiple people got shot though. And I don't know if Shine's bullets ever touched anyone, but I know that he got the gun charge, and it's believed that Diddy may have. The story kept changing. I remember the story kept changing. I don't know if it was a PR thing, but at one point it was said that Diddy also had a weapon, but somehow it turned due to only Shine had a weapon. But ballistics showed that there was multiple guns, and they only recovered two or three. But mind you, they're saying there was multiple different types of guns that were there, so it was more than the ones that they found. So I'm thinking that Diddy might have had one. So that's when the whole J-Lo backed off from Diddy, because she was like, "This is bad for my image because I'm trying to make it in the top."
My name is Jennifer.
She went from J-Lo to Jennifer.
My
Yep.
name is Jennifer.
He went from Jenny on the block to Jennifer
Jennifer.
Lopez.
That hood shit left very fast.
Exactly. It's her whole image changed. First, she was pandering to the black community, saying nigger and everything, and all of a sudden, she started
I'm
playing
still
white women
Jenny
in
from the
movies.
block. I don't know what happened to her.
Well, sit
And
your
all of a
ass
sudden,
down,
she started wearing
Jennifer.
blonde highlights and being white.
Now
Anyway,
she's Jennifer Lopez.
yes. So that, and then Shine, of course, his career was halted or pretty much ended basically, and he was right on. He was on his way up, and he ended up
Isn't he
doing
a prime
time.
minister now?
No,
Yes,
his
he is.
father is a his father is a major person over in Belize.
Yeah, but I read
Panama.
something about him being appointed prime minister or something like that.
No, he's involved with their politics, but he's not the prime minister. He's probably something over there, but basically, I think it's messed up that Shine literally threw his life away to defend Diddy, and Diddy did what he does. He did the Diddy bop all over him while he's free. While he's free, going to parties, popping champagne, while Shine's sitting in a freaking jail cell, 3 hops in the cot, and taking visits and all that other stuff while Diddy's living his life. I'm pretty sure that the reason why he pieced it up with Diddy is, I'm sure, I can't prove it, but I feel like Diddy gave him a nice pretty penny
Man, please.
when he got out.
He's
Yeah.
the leader of opposition of Belize.
But even with what I'm saying, even with all that, I'm just thinking, like, I'm thinking of all these artists, and even back to Diddy the night of 'cause I watched a lot of Vlad interviews. I don't know what's realistic, what's not realistic.
The feds.
And
Who said that?
They said, because they actually said that the night that Biggie died, said the hit wasn't even for Biggie. The hit was actually for Diddy, and they said that he got into it with some Islam people. It was like one of the last interviews I saw. And said that one of them Islamic people was supposed to take him out, and wound up and Big just wound up getting caught up in that crossfire, basically.
I don't know. We'll never know what really
So
happened.
Big was a quote unquote supposed to be the sacrifice. Now that goes
Right. We don't know. We won't never really know what happened with that situation.
But it's like,
what we do know is that vampires live forever, so we know Diddy ain't going nowhere. So
it's like again, I'm wondering who's coming. Like, I haven't heard like Carl Thomas, 112, Faith.
I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be Diddy up there on stage all night doing the Diddy bop.
Day 20. What was that? Day 26.
Day 26. The band.
Danity
Kane. There was another group after them. Female group. Can't think of
the
that name.
band. I mean,
no,
the band,
there
sorry.
was a female group that had what is that woman's name?
D Woods and the other one.
Warren Campbell's little sister. Can't think of her name right now.
Talking about Total.
No, I said
No.
Warren Campbell's little sister.
Let me see. Hold on.
But yeah, it's just like I'm just wondering, because I doubt Pam is probably even gonna come. You know, she's holy and sanctified now. So I just see So Def just. I mean, we could be shocked. You never know. I just see So Def with just winning that by default.
Some people probably show up for Diddy just because they get to make a bag, but do know that they're gonna negotiate their contract. Dawn Richards. That's her name. Dawn Richardson, Dawn Rich, something.
And another thing about Diddy.
Dawn Richard, that's her name.
I got good news and I got bad news.
Sorry, it's called Dirty Money. That's what it's called. Sorry.
Yes.
Bad news is I'm shutting down the studio. Unless you go give me some breast milk from Cambodia. Breast milk, you made my day.
That's not really what he made them walk for.
I know that. I know that.
What it was, but that was OD. That was still OD.
Oh man. So we got to get ready to call it a night. This was a great
I'm
show.
tired of Duval and his foolishness. Duval said all the women rappers is beefing right now. It's just a matter of time before it evolves like men beefs and somebody gets shot.
And something Deja Vu said the other day, it was interesting too. She was like, she said maybe they should do a campaign to bring back like R&B girl groups. I forgot what she was playing, but she's like, what happens to all the R&B girl groups? And then she's like, even down to the guy groups, but specifically the girl ones. And I'm like,
Well, we
yeah,
had this conversation in the car yesterday, I believe it was.
yeah.
And I'm gonna say this, and we wrap it up. I'm gonna say this much. I don't know what happened, but the industry shifted. It's like nobody wants to be in love anymore. Everybody want to be city girls and hot boys or thugs or tough guys, and everybody's talking about they get into the bag. And it's funny because all the people that y'all listening to in the industry is booed up, and ain't none of them in the streets like that, like they talking that they trying to make you believe. So if you is leading your life using their examples, you need to reevaluate already, because you already a lost cause. But you can be in love and still get to the bag. Just want to put that out there. All y'all faves is secretly in relationships and probably in love and still getting to the bag by prying on y'all insecurities and making y'all think that the lifestyle that y'all running around is conducive, and it's not. It's destructive.
Alrighty then. So as I said, this was a good show. I mean, I don't know if y'all agree or disagree.
Boo, tomatoes. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I don't. Are we? First of all, let me just shout out to all the people that that listen. We are coming back slowly but surely. Surely, I don't know why I said surely.
Shirley season.
Because we're all old and tired. It's past our bedtime.
It's almost that time. We're almost there. We'll be talking about that in a second about who's making the macaroni and cheese. But yeah, shout out to everybody that's rocking with us. Y'all can check out our 24-hour radio station at Real Life Spill ENT Radio. You can get the app. It's called Get Me Radio. You can get that app. You can type in Real Life Spill ENT Radio. Will pop up right there. You can hear some of the music we play, some of the DJs that we have on. You can actually hear this talk show back. I'm not sure on what day yet. If not tomorrow, definitely Wednesday. As far as I know, we are supposed to be back with another show on Friday.
Don't hold us to that, because Friday is a long day for me, I think.
I mean, we'll figure it out.
Yes, I gotta check my calendar. Outside of that, shout out to Swamp City. Shout out to Sukari and everything that she got going on. Shout out to Suki wherever he at in the world right now. Shout out to CC and her radio station, and her podcast and everything she was on earlier today.
Yeah, they have a show called Living Room Talk. They come on Sundays from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. You can check them out.
Yeah, shout out to CC Radio and Entertainment. If I'm forgetting somebody, I really do apologize. We rock with all y'all the long way.
Got a shout out to Messy Mittens. We did an event for her last night. She had her first event, sipping paint.
It was nice. I don't know. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, and if I am, I apologize. It's past my bedtime.
The Sandman. You forgot the Sandman. Good night.
Shout out to We Prosper.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations to Wilson on the birth of his son.
We love the babies around here.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't get you on the show. I'll get you in here though.
Shout out to my best friend Patricia on the birth of her son a few weeks ago. Love, peace, and blessings. If I'm forgetting somebody again, I truly do apologize. It's past my bedtime. I love y'all. Your girl A-Rain is out the building.
T-Ray, signing off.
I don't know, GT still there or not?
He's busy. He's busy doing what his profile pic says.
Oh my god. He's gonna be tight when he hears that on the playback.
He's a thug. He'll be all right.
Oh man. But yo, once again, shout out to everybody that's been rocking with us. Again, you can check out the radio station. We will be back soon. It's the Real Life Spill Show. I am your man, CJ Chuck, and we getting up out of here. And shout out to Swamp City.
Cino World.
Swamp City. Look at the way we running up. Look at the way we coming up. Look at the way we running up. Guns, guns. Look at the way we running up. Look at the way we coming up. Look at the way we running up. 4 moons. Look at the way we running up. Look at the way we coming up. Look at the way we running up. Guns, goons. Look at the way we running up. Look at the way we coming up. Look at the way we running up. 4 moon. Y'all see the way I give it up. Y'all see the wave, don't give a fuck. I play no games, no David Buss. Outline, tape them up. Bobby Flay with the yeah. Y'all see the way I bake it up, chef it up. Y'all niggas trash, step it up. Toe tagging them body bags. I keep it on me, don't press your luck. RP, nigga, rest them up, box them up, dress them up. Who he fooling? Don't know what he doing. Your man and them should arrest them up. This is not a movie. Don't pursue me. No 17s won't wet them up. Bankroll, double up. I'm in the streets, nigga, flood them up. I am a beast, I'm off the leash. Better tell your team, get the huddle up. Goonie, juggernaut, night, nigga, tuck them up. Jim Star with the gym blades. I see the way I cut them up. Pans, bubble up. Myers, gut them up. Get out the way, stay out my face. And duct tape, I'm shut them up. I don't play, no masquerade, nut in the face, no cut them up. No one to say, straight out the gates. All these guns are muffled up. Look at the way we running up. Look at the way we coming up. Look at the way we running up. Guns, goons. Look at the way we running up. Look at the way we coming up. Look at the way we running up. 4 moons. Look at the way we running up. Look at the way we coming up. Look at the way we running up. Guns, goons. Look at the way we running up. Look at the way we coming up. Look at the way we running up. 4 moons. Good morning, nigga, yeah, the devil's up. Blue face, yeah, the bezel up. That kettle whistling, y'all ain't listening. Y'all see the way y'all leveled up. If you owe me bread, you better settle up. I leave you dead in that Tesla. Trust me, nigga, I'm not regular. I'm about to shit on my competitors. You see the wolf, I'm a predator. No final cuts, no wetter. I squeeze them hollows for the lottos. I'm all about them megabus. You feeling froggy, nigga, come and get me. Before I go, nigga, you coming with me. I'll let it go, nigga, they come and fit me. Just to let you know, you ain't fucking with me. I'm in your town, nigga, fuck your city. I'm running down on you with the blicky. I'm loading rounds, I'm squeezing 50. Stay away from that nigga, it won't be pretty. Don't get the fuck about where you at or where you from, nigga, gonna sit me. I keep it tough, nigga, dressed in black. I throw it back, nigga, like a frisbee. Blue face, clear as freezing. Up one, yellow breezy. Chef it up, shit is easy. My shit, Genovese. Jigsaw, rip your wig off with a pitchfork. Yeah, believe me, a sniper scope, the way I pick them off. Don't piss me off, be easy. Look at the way we running up. Look at the way we coming up. Look at the way we running up. Guns, goons. Look at the way we running up. Look at the way we coming up. Look at the way we running up. 4 moons. Look at the way we running up. Look at the way we coming up. Look at the way we running up. Guns, goons. Look at the way we running up. Look at the way we coming up. Look at the way we running up. 4 moons.
You are now locked into the Real Life Spell Show. Chuck C, A-Rain, DeRay, and GT. Right here on Real Life Spell ENT Radio.